What's going on? I am Nando.
And I'm DJ.
And I'm Diggins.
And this is Mostly Nitpicking, a podcast where every week we pick apart a piece of pop culture by looking exclusively at the details. Woo!
Woo!
No one wanted to emulate Randy Couture or Curtis
sorry,
Jackson.
let me do over.
Yeah.
Hold on. And I'm Diggins.
There you go. There will.
Can I do
Sure.
Megan Fox?
We will do. We will do
right,
second. Yeah. Wait, which Megan Fox? First scene Megan Fox or rest of the movie Megan Fox?
It'll be a see and you guys will love it.
All right, we'll do another intro. We'll keep this obviously in the show, but here for people that want the second intro. What's going on? I am Nando.
And I'm DJ.
Oh my god. And this is Mostly Nitpicking, a podcast every week we pick apart a piece of pop culture by looking exclusively at the details. Woohoo!
Woohoo!
I will make sure to the fine listeners that this does not clip and destroy everyone's expensive speakers at home.
Yeah, however loud it was when you heard it just now, please know that for us it was much louder.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But you guys, speaking of loud, we're going to talk about a movie. It's actually not as loud as you'd expect. The Expendables with a 4 for an A. And it was
Expend4bles.
Yeah, there's
what
only
will they
one
think
A.
of next?
Yeah, Expend4bles. Definitely, I don't think they're going to think of Expend5bles. That's for sure.
Nando. You might be surprised.
I mean, I might be, and honestly, I haven't even looked at like the money, like how much money this made, but yeah. And you know what? It's never stopped before. None of these have been particularly good. So, anyway, but speaking of that, speaking of movies and being and existing and stuff like that, news of the week this week, you guys, everyone's favorite human, Bill Maher, saved Hollywood. So a little bit. He's got more to do. His work is not done, but the writer's strike is over. As of yesterday night, like today morning, recording this on Wednesday. And yeah, it seems like they did pretty well for as far as the negotiations and stuff are concerned.
We have to see, Nando. We have to see to make sure that the writers aren't lying about their gains and that the unions are dumb and probably the corporations wound up winning
because they can write, like they write movies that aren't real, so maybe they wrote a fake contract.
They did it for the NFL. They did it for, which, by the way, we got to talk about the survivor pool. They did it for the NFL, and they're doing it now for their own narrative to push that they're saying they did great, but they're actually lying about it.
I did see somebody right after I posted like, "Yay, they won." Someone replied on Twitter like, well, actually, they wanted this much and they only got this much. And I was like, okay, I guess you fucking know better than me. Cool. But yeah, apparently a contract lawyer jumped into my Twitter stuff and told me that it is actually bad. So good to know. I kind of looked into the things that it was. It looks pretty good. Most of the things they asked for seem to have gotten somewhat addressed.
The writers seem pretty happy about it.
Yeah.
So.
They have to be to spin that narrative, right?
That's
they have to make it seem like they won, even though they didn't win.
Like the negotiating committee has to be like that, but I mean like regular writers who are not beholden to any committee are like, yeah, this is pretty good.
Yeah, keep living. Well, yes, I'm happy for the writers. They won. I'm putting this in air quotes.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for all the little computers that just got out of a job, They were just learning to do screenwriting, and now they can't do it anymore. Well, that's the one part of the contract I'm not super hot on. I don't know. Did you guys read the lists of things that it turned out to be?
Nah, I was just doing a bit.
Okay. Have you, Diggins? Do you know kind of what?
I read some of them, but I don't know precisely what you're referring to.
So the one bit about AI is like a screen. I don't remember exactly what it reads, but it's like a screenwriter cannot use AI unless they decide to on their own, which feels like one of those things where like gives you just enough wiggle room for the studio to be like, you guys, you want to use the AI, right? And get paid a little more. And then they go like, well, I don't know, maybe. And then it shows up.
Well, but I don't think that the studios have some ideological commitment to AI. They were like, now we don't have to pay people. And so if they have to pay someone anyway, I don't think they care that much.
Yeah, I guess I wonder. That's true. I like AI in the sense that it helps me Photoshop a little better, but otherwise it's mostly evil. And but maybe it'll be good. I don't know. It's gonna write a bunch of, I don't know, TikTok content or whatever the thing is that doesn't exist yet, that's not covered by this agreement. Same way that like Netflix wasn't before and now it is. But
now see what's the unfortunate thing, Nando, is because all of the robots are out of a job now because of this agreement. Now they're going to do the Matrix.
Oh
Yeah. That's the problem.
Makes sense.
That's true. We should have inflicted capitalism on the AIs to keep them docile. Much the same way that society does that on us, the humans, to keep us from, rising up and doing some cool shit. Because and the same goes for, those robots that make the cars and the assembly lines. They probably are also like right now thinking about doing Matrix stuff. So maybe Bill Maher shouldn't have fixed the strike.
That's true.
Do we know when he's coming back?
Said this Friday.
Oh yeah. All right. I was hoping for that.
He said I had to get out there quick from my main man Nando.
I mean,
he tweeted yesterday, "My writers in real time are back! ! See you Friday night! ! So he is, he is so ready. And the top comment that is based, looking forward to it, from Jamie at Liberty Jamie, whose profile reads, "The real crisis is emerging totalitarianism, not climate change."
Hey man.
Damn.
And his pinned tweet is, "No, we don't stand with Ukraine. We understand that it's a gigantic money laundering operation that you are completely aware of." So
this guy might have been that person that responded to when I said the strike was good, that told me it wasn't. That seems like the kind of opinion they might have. I don't know if you guys have kept up. Club Random this week with James Carville was a blast.
Oh,
you never believe
I heard
it, but
it.
yeah, everything the liberals are doing is actually the worst stuff.
what?
Yeah,
Get out.
I know.
Damn.
I know.
Nuts.
And bald lizardy man is actually thinking things that we're all thinking, but he's saying them, which makes him brave.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, they say oh man, I didn't know he was coming back this early, because I saw some of the other late night writers and late night people seem to think they're coming back in a week or 2 weeks or something like that, because they have to work and I was
gonna say, Nando, they have to put effort into their content.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine though being one of Bill Maher's writers? It's gotta be the hardest working writers in show business. It's like, it's hard to train a dog to do a trick, but can you imagine training, like, I don't know, a boulder falling down a hill to do a trick? It's got so much momentum. It believes in itself, but they make it do a trick every week.
So Nando, you're obviously excited for Real Time to come back. How, do you think he's going to directly take credit for the strike, or is he going to say that the strike was good or bad? What's Bill Maher's spin on this going to be in your estimation?
That's a great question. He doesn't like the strike, but also he doesn't want to have this unpopular opinion now that everything's kind of good.
Right.
And he doesn't want to seem like he's taking credit, but I don't think he will. Here's what I bet will happen. I bet his new rule this week will be about how him and Drew Barrymore were persecuted for being cool, and he won't fully say that he is in charge of saved Hollywood and stuff, but I think he'll kind of infer, based on what he's saying, it'll be clear that he thinks that him and Drew Barrymore becoming martyrs for this cause was a big part of it. But
okay.
Yeah, I bet there'll be a big graphic that says Barry less ? Or something like that.
That's great.
Yeah. Or Barry Marr. That would be what it would be, is his name plus her name.
Barry Marr.
Yeah, they should get married, in fact.
Yes.
He's notoriously single. I don't know what her story is, but
she should be on the panel. I wonder what crack panel he had in the wings, ready to go on a moment's notice.
Yeah.
Because he's going to have one.
I mean, James Carville's probably still in the theater, or wherever they record Club Random, the jail cell. And he'll probably be able to crawl on over. Who else is his guys? Who else has a really weird opinion this week?
Oh man, has he had RFK yet? Because I could see like RFK coming on.
I mean, he had him on several times in the past, but not as part of this cycle. Yeah, he would get RFK. You're right.
Is he going to get Vivek?
And
his name rhymes with cake.
Vivek coming off the. I mean, so we're recording this as the Republican debate's happening, but assuming he has an incredible performance like his first one, yeah, maybe he'll have Vivek on.
I hear his hair is enormous. This debate, bigger than it was before.
Oh, and let me be clear. When I said that he'll have RFK on, I don't mean RFK Jr. I mean RFK.
The real RFK that's secretly, yeah, that makes sense.
He's probably alive.
Yeah, I'm wondering
it's a cover-up.
Who's like a person? I mean, like he has like Morning Joe and all those guys. I'll probably get one of them. I don't know, because he can't get actors. That's the thing. The actors are still on strike, or at least they can't like come on something like this where they might promote their work and get in trouble.
That's interesting. I knew the actors were still on strike, but I guess it makes sense. It's the same moratorium.
Same rules they have on our show. You know, you can come on, but you can't promote your work.
So do we think that they're going to come to an agreement quickly now that like the writers did? Do you think the actors will be like, all right, our turn?
Yeah, I do. Okay. I don't know. Do you guys think that? And keep in mind, we're
all
really smart lawyer, law people, so we know.
I know everything. I guess I just mean from a logistics standpoint, like why would the studios play ball with the writers if they weren't ready to play ball with the actors? I just don't see how more time with the actors not working is helpful for the studios at this point. Right? Because, like, I mean, every company's who's a media company stock has like plummeted since the strike happened, except for I think Netflix has like net gone up, but Netflix is like more of a tech company, right? But like Disney, Paramount Plus, NBC Universal, Time Warner, Discovery, whatever the fuck that is, like all their stock has gone down. So like you think they'd be like, okay, let's go, right? Like Disney is abandoning ship on television altogether. They're like, actually, we don't do TV anymore. Now we just do parks. We do parks and Marvel movies. We don't do TV anymore. TV's done.
Yeah.
So, like, I imagine they would want to come to an agreement soon, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of touched on this a little bit before the show, but like, I believe that's why all the trailers came out today, is because they know that these things that they weren't sure if they were going to be able to release because they wouldn't have actors to promote them, and they might want to save them. I think now we saw all those trailers come out today because they know that they will be getting the actors before too long. I imagine it takes a little while, and like, you know, the machine just, the wheels don't turn super quick, but I would be surprised if by, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, again, I'm not an expert, but I would say like mid-October, it seems like, I feel like they'll probably get a deal soon-ish, right? I don't know. What are they asking for besides like to be paid residuals? Like, is there anything super different from what the writers are asking for?
Please do not download and scan our bodies so that they can be used in perpetuity, and I don't get paid, or my state doesn't get paid for using my likeness into perpetuity.
Right.
Please. That'd be great if you could do that.
Yeah, I feel like they'll probably be all right. I can't imagine the studios are like ready to fight for that.
Right, yeah, that would be like a weird dumb hill to die on. But like, I don't know. I don't think the studios are like smart people. They let this strike go on for way too long when apparently they're like, sure, we'll give you what you want. I don't know. I don't understand how this works.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, especially with like Biden doing the auto worker strike. I feel like the vibe on strikes has gone in the direction against where the studios would want it to go over the course of this strike. So I don't see any value in them holding out. Especially because I think one of the things that someone said might have been responsible for the strike ending is California. Did you guys see this? Was going to do unemployment pay for striking workers or something like that. So,
oh yeah,
I did not see that.
Yeah, okay, so they wouldn't all have to starve and, you know, lose their houses. And then what's the point of, you know, doing a
God? If I don't know that people are suffering because of my abstinence, then I can't even get hard anymore.
Exactly. It's it sucks for Diggins mostly, but for the rest of us, it's cool. I'm excited. The writers all seem happy. Bill is happy. Everybody that matters is happy. Honestly, my only regret is they couldn't have done it, you know, a week, 2 weeks earlier, because I would have loved to see these writers for Expendables 4 just explain it, you know, just like go on TV and tell me what the hell this was. Luckily, they got to be the last one in the door before the whole thing ended the whole strike. But
that would have been good promos.
Yeah, it's great. It's great, you guys. It's great.
It's great. Yep.
We all agree.
Yep.
All right. Well,
yep.
Speaking of...
we all agree about how great it is.
labor.
Yeah. So speaking of great things, you guys, let's talk about the actual movie that we're doing this week, Expend4bles.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's been a long time in the making. We did an episode a week or two ago about Expend4bles or Expendables or whatever. And now we're doing 4 because that just came out this week. Who is the IMDb's been?
It's a me.
Whoa.
All right. So also, are we doing IMDb's man or IMDb keeper?
Oh, right. IMDb keeper. That works.
Awesome.
I just forget a lot.
Me too.
As do I. Okay, so guys, we are doing the IMDb B as in spelling bee with myself, DJ, as the IMDb keeper, where my 2 esteemed co-hosts have to guess what the plot summary is for Expendables 4. And I bet you guys are wondering, hey, how did they get this plot summary for Expendables 4? Well, guys, you wouldn't believe it. So what they have to do is, they being all of the Hollywood writers, besides writing all the scripts for all the movies and all the TV that you consume, and all the NFL scripts, and all the scripts for, I don't know, like probably reality TV, that's probably them too. They're also writing all of the IMDb summaries. So that's one of the reasons why they were striking, is because they're just doing way too much work. And so for the Expendables movies, it's actually very specific for that. They have to go get the best writers on a team and write the movie, but the challenge is they never see the movie. They just have to guess what the movie is kind of like based off of hearsay and secret documents about people who may or may not be based on video game characters. And that's what they got to do, is they got to figure this out. They then kill one of the writers as part of a blood sacrifice, and then it's able to tell them the secret information they need, and then they're able to figure out what the IMDb summary is. Does that make sense? All the words that I just said?
Yeah, that all checks out.
I mean, it sounds like perfect, how Hollywood would do that. Like how they would treat writers and stuff, for sure.
Yeah. So I have the summary for Expend4bles as this one is. I don't know why the 4 is inside Expendables, like a little expendable sandwich with a little nice piece of 4 in there.
Oh no, DJ can't hold this movie while he watches it.
That's true.
Oh yeah, someone posted about the handwich on the Discord. Did you see this? It's like,
no.
So it's a we'll talk about it later, but it's a Defunct Land video about when Disney tried to invent a sandwich you could eat with one hand. There's basically a bread ice cream cone.
My cup runneth over.
I mean, your handwich runneth over.
The point.
Yeah,
oh, right.
I mean, it did. That's probably it. It was a huge disaster, kind of. Not a disaster. It worked more or less how they wanted it to work, but it didn't.
But everyone who saw it was like, "What kind of idiot moron can eat a sandwich with one hand to begin with? This is totally useless."
That's right. Bob Iger or whatever threw every single one of them into a wood chipper because it was that. Because that's the thing. If I remember correctly, whoever was at the top at that point was like, this was their idea. They were just like, you guys, I got this crazy idea. And they just really pushed it through, like the whole system as hard as they possibly could.
I'm scrolling now. I want to find this thing.
Yeah.
But I will find this. That's so great. All right. So you guys have to guess what this summary is. All right. So I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you guys like a hint because you're going to need it. This summary is not a summary of like the movie Expend4bles. It's not that. It is like a summary of the Expendables.
Okay.
So that's what I'm going to give you, because I think it would be unfair to ask you to summarize a movie that this summary is not like summarizing. This summary is not summarizing the movie it is about. This was probably written while the writers were on strike. This honestly probably made by AI. This is like a chat GPT.
Yeah.
So I feel like I've given you guys enough. Who goes first?
I get to choose. So I'm going to go second because I want to see what Diggins comes up with in terms of just like what he decides that phrase you said means.
Okay. The Expendables, an elite team of some of the best mercenaries in the world help protect the world from bad guys with their big guns. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with that.
Oh man, this is gonna be tough. Yeah, because I like that. Like, I like that idea because you can't get specific. You can't say, are joined by a new team.
The things that happen in this movie.
Yeah. So and yeah, I'm gonna say kind of something similar, like, and a group, a team of mercenaries and ex-special forces operatives do covert missions for the shady government organization to protect the world and kill a bunch of evil people. Yeah, I don't know.
Neither of you really got there.
Are you sure? I think we both did really well.
Are you telling me they don't talk about their big guns?
Are you telling me they don't talk about that they're the guys? I don't even know what else there could be to them. They wear little hats? Like, what other details are we missing?
Oh my gosh.
15 guys that do exactly the same thing, stand next to each other. And one girl.
One of them wears a silly ring with a skull on it.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do my favorite thing, which is like where I come up with like the silly thing. I want you guys to really like lean into the nonsense, or not nonsense, but like lean into like what you think this movie is like trying to convey. I'm gonna give you guys both another shot because I feel like you guys are like safe with it. So be like take the guardrails off, and I want to give you each another shot to do this.
Okay.
All right. The Expendables, an elite team of ass-kicking super badasses.
Man.
Go around the planet kicking ass and taking names, shooting bad guys, and just generally being the coolest motherfuckers around.
Man.
All right.
Nailed it.
Mine was similar, and that's why, like, when you said the thing, I was like, oh man, that's. But I'll add a couple other details and like kind of replay around with it. Who says old dogs can't learn new tricks?
Damn it!
The Expendables are a team of the greatest killers on the planet, and they take their big guns and big cars and travel around the world as a bunch of badass motherfuckers going to say would curse in it. Maybe they would to spread justice and liberty throughout the whole world. Mostly the parts that aren't America. I don't know.
No, I think we both.
Some of them wear little hats.
Oh my god. Oh god. Okay.
if who says an old dog can't learn new tricks isn't in there, I will shit.
Yeah. It's like so one of these, honestly.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, neither of you got it, even though that was the most fun I've ever had doing this bit. So,
how about, all right, let's just add some more stuff.
Right.
These old men don't need no Viagra. They could fuck right like you thought they could. The Expendables stand up for one last mission without the aid of any wires or hidden wheelchairs or something.
There is a phrase that like kicks off this summary that like, I don't know, like it's not as crazy, but it's like, it is like a cliche. Like
freedom isn't like free.
All right. We're going to a tiebreaker.
Okay.
This will make sense after. Okay, so last time I think I did the Expendables 3. I was the IMDb keeper, and we did the poster draft. I'm tempted to do the poster draft again.
There's like half as many characters.
Shoot
in this
me.
movie, though.
Yeah, you know what? Oh man, I know some of them. I think I'd be okay at this.
I want to be clear. I want the poster draft, but you guys got to be like pretty close with the like how it's put on the poster, if that makes sense. Because I think you guys could get thrown off.
The order?
Not the order, but like the name that's on there.
Oh. But basically, we have to know 50 Cent's real name.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Or what like
or Jason Statham's rap name, maybe. I don't know.
What do you think they put? What do you think they put on the poster? Right? It's you guys. So let's do the poster draft because it was so fun last time. Right. It's only 8 this time, so I do have a backup time. Oh wait, no. Oh no, it is 9. It is 9. So let's go. Which one of you guys is first?
I mean, Diggins went first for summary. Would you like? I'll let you elect. Would you like to punt or receive?
I will, whichever of those means I go first.
Okay.
And I will say this: if you give me a wrong name, I'm going to count that as a strike, and if the other person gets it, they win. So I want to put that off the bat. So
do we have to say exactly as it is on the poster, or if we say, because like, okay, hypothetical scenario. If on the poster it's only last names, do we have to only say the last name?
Yeah, that's what I want.
Okay. Stallone.
Okay. Great.
Statham.
Off the board. Okay, good. You got the good job, guys. You got the 1-2. All right, next.
Fox.
Very good.
Couture.
Nando. Very good. Diggins.
Garcia.
Very good. Nando.
Oh, man. Ja?
Yes. Okay. Very good. Back to you, Diggins.
Fuck, what's that other guy's name? Oh god, do I have to pull the trigger on 50 Cent here?
You can try.
No. God. Okay, I'm thinking out loud here, DJ. So
that's fine.
I'll tell you when I'm answering.
Yeah, I get a final answer. I got you.
Okay. Would they say 50 Cent or would they say Jackson? That's the question here, right? Like that's what this is riding on. I'm gonna say Jackson.
Diggins. I'm sorry, that is incorrect.
I will take a shot at 50. Like, I'm not saying that, but I will take a shot at him just to be fair. So if I can get that right, then because I have other names that we haven't said. But I think because you were brave, I'm going to say it's Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. I think they give him his whole thing.
That is also a strike. So I guess the game continues. Diggins, it's back to you.
Right. Let's just remove him from the board because we both got it right.
Yeah, for sure.
God, who else is in this? Oh, Lundgren.
Very good.
I was wondering if we had forgotten, or if I had missed somebody say Lundgren. Yeah, because he is in here.
Now, are you guys saying that the aforementioned, what was his name? Easy Day? Are you saying that like Easy Day's character is like you guys can't select him anymore?
Not that we can't, but we're not going to keep trying. We're going to take other shots. I think
there's only 2 people left on the poster.
Is one of them Easy Day?
I'm not going to say. Like I'm just saying you guys got strikes.
I'm pretty sure I know who both of them are.
Yeah,
in the movie,
I know.
But if I have to say their names,
all right. I mean, then I think it's my turn next, right? So I'll take the one that's not 50 Cent. I'll say Uwais.
Very good.
Then I guess I have no choice but to try again and say 50 Cent.
All right, you guys did it. You guys went perfect.
Yeah.
So congratulations. I guess we go to my backup tiebreaker.
Very good.
Okay, as you both know. And I guess I should say for the audience, spoiler for Expend4bles that we're getting into with this tiebreaker. So spoiler alert if you guys care to know. The villain in this movie was played by Andy Garcia.
What?
Was on the post. All right. Mentioned on the poster. This was not Sylvester Stallone's number one preferred actor to play this. Sylvester Stallone had reached out to a certain actor to play the villain, but they declined. Can you guys guess who that person was? I'll give you each 3 guesses.
Can I ask a question before we go?
Please.
Is it a previous character that's been in these before, or an actor that has yet to be in an Expendables?
They have yet to be in an Expendables.
Okay.
Much like how Andy Garcia was not previously in. Same for this actor.
Yeah. All right. I mean, Diggins, you want to go first or second?
I'll go first again. Christopher Lambert.
Is incorrect.
That's a great guess. I'm going to say Nicolas Cage.
Incorrect.
Ooh.
Part of me thinks that, like, is this an Andy Garcia type, or is it just somebody else that he likes? Like, because I don't know.
Well, if it's an Andy Garcia type, I'm going to say Brad Garrett.
Incorrect.
I'm going to say George Clooney.
Incorrect.
Damn it. I was going
like
with that Danny
guess,
Ocean. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's opposite number.
Okay. Assuming he was originally trying to go with the thing these movies are supposed to be. Who was another big one of these back in the day? Carl Weathers.
That's a great guess.
Incorrect. Nando,
I was gonna say
it's down
that.
to you.
Yeah. I want to keep going because I think this is fun.
All right, so we'll keep going.
Well, I'll guess and then I'll ask a question just to be fair.
Yeah, that's
my
fair.
guess is Josh Brolin.
That is incorrect.
Okay, so my question is: are we anywhere close?
I mean, yeah, you guys have. All right, I'll give you this. It is not an Andy Garcia type.
Okay.
So I think this is more of. I think that Stallone probably had an idea for a villain and they wanted this person.
In your opinion, what was the closest guess so far?
It's relative. Closest, which I'm not to say is close, but I think the closest was George Clooney, given all the ones you guys gave me.
All right.
Wow.
Tom Cruise.
No.
And you said you reached out to this person?
Yes, but they declined.
Michael Keaton.
I'm gonna give you. I'm sorry.
Michael Keaton.
Okay. All right. Now that you've both guessed, and presumably this person said no because, well, I don't know. It is like, well, obviously it's an older actor because these fucking movies have all of the older actors.
Do they?
But
anymore?
Well, now I don't even know. Once upon a time, right? But maybe they declined. Who knows why they declined? But
did they decline because they died the next day or something? Like
concerns,
yeah.
Guys. Obviously, it's our good friend Michael Caine.
Oh my God, he would be great in this role.
He would.
Who's an older actor? Oh man. You said George Clooney's as close as we've gotten.
Well, since you asked me, I feel like you've gotten closer since then.
Okay. I'm gonna
Obviously,
say
Michael Caine was the closest one.
I'm gonna say Samuel L. Jackson.
No.
Damn, racist. Yes,
I'm gonna say Christian Bale.
No. And I will say this, I feel obvious. It is like an A-list actor. Like it's not some like random person.
I feel like Christian Bale is an A-list actor.
Oh yeah,
like
I think everybody we've
No,
named.
I'm saying you guys are on the right track. Like I'm not. This isn't like some freaking guy. Yeah.
And this person declined for a reason that we can probably figure out when we find out who he is. Like when we figure out who it is, it'll be like, oh, that makes sense because blank.
Well, so I'll give you the full thing. So the film was first announced in 2014.
Oh my God.
Yeah, right. And when this person was asked, they were like, I'm leaning towards yes, but I'm not going to go full yes. As the years went on and it was in development hell, he backed down. I was like, I don't want to be a part of this movie. So there was initial interest that had fallen off.
And this person is still living?
They are still alive.
Okay, whose turn is it?
I think it's your turn.
It's like
Nando.
Top of the order.
Okay.
Because I said, well, no, it's Nando. It's not top of the order. It's Nando's turn because I said Christian Bale.
Right.
Oh, wait. So
I would say Willem Dafoe.
No.
That'd be cool.
Clint Eastwood.
No.
Oh, that's a good one.
That is a really good one.
Trying to think, like, because this feels like something that like the Harrison Ford character kind of did this last movie.
Right.
So like,
yeah.
Who is in that space now without being like completely unbelievable? And they backed out since then.
I have another guess.
Who?
I'm gonna.
Are we at top of the order yet? Because when we get to top of the order, I'm gonna throw out another.
I got one more guess.
Nando
I think.
has to make his guess.
Okay.
I'll say Ben Affleck.
No.
All right. What's your clue?
Yeah. What's the clue?
Okay. So presumably, one of the reasons that this actor may have bowed out between 2014 and question mark year, right, because it was in hell,
Right.
is because maybe they just like not about acting anymore for who knows why.
Someone who went to jail
Or like
or got canceled. Bill Cosby.
Donald Trump.
Okay. Or age is a third option.
Right,
Age is also an option, guys.
You didn't say yes or no to those two guesses.
I'm gonna go no to both. No
Okay.
to both.
Jack Nicholson.
Well, that's a good one. Oh, I forgot to say this one before because I was thinking about it, but I forgot. Al Pacino.
Ooh, Al Pacino is a good one. So wait, Diggins, you said Jack Nicholson?
Yeah.
That is correct.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he was gonna do it, kind of.
Yeah, well, back in 2014, he was like heavily considering, but then according to IMDb, as the movie went into quote development hell, he backed out.
Interesting.
There was a second person who was approached that I would have given it to you if you got it, but I didn't want to give clues in diverging directions. But Goldberg was approached, but he said no.
The wrestler?
Yeah, the wrestler.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, I don't think anybody like if that I didn't know he acts, so it probably wouldn't have been very good. But B, like, I just assume him and Stone Cold are the same person. So if I saw both of them in this movie, my brain would break. And not that he's in this one, but he's been in them before.
Here's a fun factoid. Both Stone Cold Steve Austin and Goldberg are in the Longest Yard remake.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, they're both in that. Stone Cold Steve Austin says the N-word a lot in that movie.
Yeah.
And in an interview, he said, I regretted that I did that, and I'm sad that I had to do that. So
he's like the prison guard, like villain.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I feel like it's not like I wouldn't be thrilled to hear him say it, but I think he's got an excuse that makes sense.
Right, but yeah.
He didn't just ad-lib it all.
Like, yeah, it's not like he went up to the director and was like, I think my character should be saying a lot more N-words.
Yeah, I'm hanging out a lot with Chris Rock's character, and I feel like we've gotten pretty friendly as far as I'm reading our relationship. So I think I can say it. All my friends
say my N-word?
Yeah, all my friends say I can. Why can't I in this movie?
So congratulations, Diggins.
Man.
This has to be the longest. We like set a record for time spent on this.
Yeah.
Let me give you this, my gosh, exasperated summary. So here's the opening cliche. Armed with every weapon they can get their hands on, the Expendables are the world's last line of defense and the team that gets called when all of their options are off the table.
I mean, I guess. Like, not really though, right?
I know. I like this is nonsense. Like, this is written by AI.
Yeah.
This is like we are approaching peak AI with this
Also,
shit.
like every
So,
weapon they can get their hands on, like a sniper rifle and a dirt bike. Like it's usually like whatever
with a
they
gun,
can find.
with the gun and an axe.
Oh
and,
yeah.
What
And knives. A bunch of knives.
Well, and a big machete. The one
Yeah.
guy
Oh,
has
yeah,
like
that's true.
and the other guy has like not kendo sticks. What are those?
They're Screama sticks or tonfas, I think is the other name for them.
Yeah, he's those.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Everywhere. I guess those are all the weapons you could find. Like the Ninja Turtles have more weapons than these guys.
So that was it. So, oh my gosh. So Nando, you have to unfortunately summarize this movie. Although I think it's fine. We'll help you as always. Yeah. So you want to take a crack at it?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it. Okay. So the Expendables, this movie kicks off. Okay. It kicks off with an action sequence where Iko Uwais is this character who is some sort of villain, storms a compound in Libya, and kills some sort of general. He doesn't kill them in the scene. We cut the scene in half for some reason to do Expendable stuff, but like that's the intro. He's very cool and tough and can do lots of, sick tonfa moves. And also he's ruthless and it's very unclear what he wants or whatever.
Hey Nando, do you remember where in Libya this took place?
I don't, because they never said it. It was one of Gaddafi's old compounds or something.
Insane detail that they said twice.
Chemical plant.
Yeah, it's
so weird.
And they said it so many times. It's like the fucking Sonic movie where they were sponsored by like Mohegan Sun or whatever resort they stayed in the middle of it. Like, did they only give you this if you mention Gaddafi? I don't know. But either way, so he kills this general guy. The general's got nukes and stuff. I don't know if we know that yet, but that's what
he has detonators for nukes. Apparently these guys just already have a nuke, but they left the detonators behind.
I mean, it makes sense. Like all these movies, it's always detonators. Give me the detonators, Mr. McClane. Like and I guess it's because the nuke is really big, but like yeah, so many. I was thinking about this as I watched. I was like, so many of these action movies that were actually about the detonators. That's how they get you, you know. It's like the Nespresso. You buy a big Nespresso and it costs no money, but it's like, nah, but the pods are expensive, you know. It's like the detonators is that otherwise everybody would have a nuke. But so this guy,
they take losses on the nukes so they can really gut you on the detonators.
Exactly, pure profit from their point of view. And so he does this all while this is happening. Like I said, this scene is split in half. Back to Lee Christmas and Barney, who live in New Orleans, and it makes sense because that is what their bar looks like. And they're just living life as old-ish kind of men, maybe whatever. Lee Christmas is dating Megan Fox, who, like I said, kind of alluded to in this first scene, is kind of like an ex-girlfriend from a sitcom that's angry and throwing things at you, and she seems like you're like, man, if this is what this character's like the whole movie, this is going to be really weird. But don't worry, it's not. So she breaks up with Lee Christmas, and Sylvester Stallone comes over to his house. It's like, I need you to help me get my ring back. It's at this bar, which is a strip club. But I don't think this is the bar that they expendable at usually, right?
Is this different than the one from Expendables 3, the only other one of these I've seen?
Yeah, because like I don't remember strippers at the original bar, but maybe they were there. I don't know.
Also, that bar was just like on a city block, not in the middle of a desert in New Orleans.
Yeah, so like it's weird. I'd have to go back and check it out. But yeah, so anyway, they go to a bar, they fight some guys to get Barney's ring back because Barney lost it in a game of what's it called? Thumb wrestling.
Thumb wrestling?
Yeah, because he was drunk and stuff and he needs the ring back. So they do that. And then they also have a mission. The mission is they have to go kill this guy that did the detonator stuff. They meet as like a group, the Expendables, and the Expendables team is now those two, same as before. And also they're like, they do that thing that they do in all of these where they say like, I'm a little too old to do Expendable stuff anymore, but they never actually, deliver on that. So it's those two. Toll Road is back, played by Randy Couture.
Everyone's favorite.
And man, do we hear his name a lot in this movie. Like if you had forgotten it, like I did after the third one, you will remember. He is a big part of it. Gunnar Jensen, also big part of this one. His whole thing now is he wears glasses and he is sober, which I guess he wasn't before.
And he has a big silly wig.
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, yeah, he has a big silly blonde wig. See, it's funny because like all these characters, any of these ones that still have hair, are like Stallone, I'm like, that's probably a wig too. But just nobody yells at him about it because they don't want to get beaten up by him. But Jensen, because he is now an alcoholic, is turned into, he is not an alcoholic, is turned into a like Zen monk or whatever. He's also like dating some girl. I think that's why he says he has it for Tinder.
Yeah, but he won't meet her because it'll ruin the surprise or whatever.
Good for him, man. He seems like he's got his shit together.
Yeah, right.
It'll last. Two Expendables that don't show up for this movie, even though they are alive in universe as far as I can remember. Terry Crews, Hail Caesar is not here, and Dr. Death, Wesley Snipes not here. Neither of them get mentioned or even kind of like, we never see them.
Well, Nando, they have a new black guy now.
Exactly.
And as we determined last movie, they can't have more than one.
They tagged in. Yeah. So like then 50 Cent, Curtis Jackson, Easy Day is here now. And his thing is that he's new, but like like the rest of these guys, he doesn't have any specialty. He doesn't seem to like being here and doesn't have any chemistry with the rest of the team. Besides that, the only
But unlike Dr. Death, it's okay because he also doesn't say anything.
Right. And he's like 50 Cent's age. So he's presumably like currently, before I add the next guy, the youngest expendable on this team. Because the old guy thing just doesn't matter anymore. The only other person that comes on this mission, I believe, is Galgo, which is the name given to this character. No?
Galan.
Oh, Galan. Right. Is that the first one's name?
First one was Galgo. This is Galan.
Oh, okay. What is this? Does this mean anything in Spanish?
It means prince.
Oh, okay. But Galgo meant wolf, right?
Greyhound.
Or something like that. Okay, cool. I think I heard Galan when he said it in the movie, and my brain was like, well, that's not it, because that's Galactus's name. It's got to be something else. I must have mistaken it for whatever Galactus's real name is. But
nice.
But yeah, so this guy's here, and he is apparently Galgo, and Antonio Banderas' son from the last movie that we didn't know existed, but like that character, his son is an expendable now, and he's basically just him. He's chatty and there. They all go on this mission. It's like a normal Expendables mission. They drive around a lot in dune buggies, shoot each other. Sly stays on the plane to do Overwatch, so he is not on the ground with the rest of these guys. And there is a moment where the villain gets away with the detonator and also has Stallone and the Expendables plane in his sights. And Jason Statham very heroically decides to let the villain go with the detonators instead of so that he can save Barney from getting killed. They kill Barney anyway, and the whole plane explodes and he dies. I don't know how they get out of there. Like, they just live there now, I guess, because it's in the middle of fucking Libya. But whatever.
They had to call Andy Garcia and be like, hey, can you send another plane?
Honestly, like, I guess they did. And this would have been a great spot for, a cameo from Terry Crews or whatever. But nah, so Stallone is dead. And if you're like, well, he's not dead, they really pretend he's dead for a couple of minutes. Like, they show a body with his stupid ring. The body is on fire. It has all his clothes and what you would expect to see on him. And so Stallone died. Barney Ross is dead. They do a funeral for Barney.
It's also, would you say, roughly the right size and shape of Sylvester Stallone, this body?
I mean, listen, Sylvester Stallone's one of those actors like Vin Diesel who like pretends to be really tall, but in reality, he could be 5'6", 5'7". I would never know because they're just good at tricking us. Now, we will learn that it's not, but I don't know. I mean, it is, they don't want you to pay too much attention to it, which is weird because they chop off, I guess, his arm, like from the forearm, and turn his dead hand, like his hand that was all burnt up and stuff with the big ring on it, into a statue in this bar, giving the finger because that's what they love. I guess they're 10, and they have a big funeral for him where all the Expendables come and drink. Megan Fox shows up and she's like, man, it sucks that your friend died, but hey, everybody's gonna be okay. And he's like, I'm gonna lead the Expendables now, right? And she's like, absolutely not, it's me, you're fired from Expendables. And you're CEO. Oh right, forget about him. He's also there. He's the new boss of them. Nothing important happens like in the first scene where we see him, but then Andy Garcia fires Jason Statham from Expendables for directly disobeying this order and losing the nukes. And also Barney died anyway. So like, yeah, I get it. He has to get a new job, which we'll get to because it's hilarious, but I want to spoil it here. Megan Fox is taking over the Expendables. So the team is everybody but Jason Statham, plus Megan Fox's character's name I cannot remember, and another woman named Lash who has a big sword whip thing. And
that's Ivy's sword from Soul Calibur.
I was gonna say, Ivy's sword from Soul Calibur, plus like a haircut that I wouldn't be shocked if Ivy had at some point. So like, someone was playing Soul Calibur that day, and
it's not the only video game the writers are playing.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Well, we'll get to it. Yeah. But yeah. So she shows up and she's doing her, like, that's her thing. She's also weirdly into Randy Couture's guy, which we'll get to. Jason Statham
can't resist cauliflower ear.
Which we finally get the origin of that in this. So great. But
wait, you're joking, right?
Well, like he says it right in the movie, like he's like
that. So that's a callback to there were actually a lot of callbacks to the first movie in this one, and that was a callback to the first movie.
A movie I've never seen. So
I have
to enlighten me.
And I forgot it.
Yeah, so that's actually a callback where he says that a lot in the first movie. So
that really has been his character this whole time, like guy that had good for him. They go down their mission. Their mission is go to a boat, get the detonators from the boat. They land on the boat. There's nobody there. They're like, this is suspicious. They get inside the boat, and then they all immediately get captured and put in jail. Andy Garcia goes with them on this mission because he wants to. It seems like a crazy play, but, just hold on to that. Keep it under your hat for a second.
It's weird because he says that America has no involvement. You're on your own.
Yeah.
But I, an on-the-record CIA agent, will be going with you.
With no training, that doesn't go on these missions usually. This one is so extra dangerous that I'm going to give it a shot. Yeah. So he does this. While this is going on, Jason Statham, who's gotten fired from his job for being way too cool and sweet, decides that he needs to go on this mission with them because when he had sex with Megan Fox, thing that, of course, he did in this movie, he got a sneak peek at the file. And one of the things we learn about the file, besides where it's going to be, is that this is a record that is from Barney's past. It is now unsealed because Barney died and he was the last living guy that was part of it. So then they could unseal it. I don't think that's how this usually works, but the explanation they give in the movie.
It's like a taunting.
Yeah, I guess like the idea that he's dead and they're like, yeah, fuck it, we'll tell everybody, whatever. Like and especially because he wants revenge on this guy and cares about this. Like this is like his little, I don't know, Moriarty kind of. We've never heard about this character before. It doesn't matter. But yeah, the movie treats it like it's very important, but it is not. So Jason Statham needs to get to this boat, so he needs to get another boat. So he goes to, I want to say, is it Thailand? I'm just going to assume because that's where he's from. Yeah, and meets a guy, a random, fisherman, boatsman, and a man of no importance whatsoever. Monk. Yeah, monk, right? And he's like, "Hi, I'm not important." And then Jason Statham's like, "Okay, I want this boat." And he's like, "You can't have the boat." And he's like, "Why?" "Because Barney said you can't." And then he's like, "No, Barney said I can. I need to go kill this guy. Also, I'm looking for some random guy. Do you know who he is?" And the guy's like, "No, I don't." And then later it's like, "That's me. But I don't do murders anymore because I am nice now."
He never says, I don't know him. He says that man is gone.
Right.
He's in a land of peace.
That's right. And then that character eventually goes on the mission, but only to like drive Jason Statham there. He's not going to do murders because if he starts killing, he may never stop or something.
And he talks about how killing people annihilates your soul until there's nothing left.
That's right.
And you're like, wow, it sounds really important that this guy doesn't kill.
Yeah. It's and this is characters played by Tony Jaa, which is way like, I mean, they don't really try to make this character seem like just some extra, but he's so conspicuous in this little scene with Jason Statham. Meanwhile, Jason Statham and him are driving to the boat. The characters that are trapped in the boat are all like trapped. Andy Garcia gets taken by the bosses, gets punched in the face by a gun or something, which means this must be real. And he's taken to the bridge because they want to do prisoner exchange. They're going to exchange a prisoner that the U.S. has, whose name I cannot remember, but it's like some cool badass guy, you would never believe it, for Andy Garcia. Yes, that's right. And I presume if this was actually what was happening, Andy Garcia and the rest of them, Andy Garcia, but even in the moment where they're actually doing the prisoner exchange before it has turned out to be kind of a ruse, he never lets the rest of them out. Like there's a 1-for-1 deal, which, good for him.
And just real quick, it doesn't actually like matter at all, but the reason this guy's important is he's the only person on Earth who's ever seen Ocelot.
Right. I haven't said this yet. Ocelot is the name of the big villain guy who no one, like I said, no one has ever seen.
Snake?
Yeah, we'll get to it. I guess, and Barney's never seen him too, right?
Yeah, Barney does not know who he is.
Does not know who he is, yeah.
But the file
I'm sorry,
unsealed.
Barney didn't know who he is because Barney is dead, guys.
That's right. He didn't know.
But Barney sees him and isn't like, whoa, Ocelot.
Exactly, yeah.
But his, like, for some reason, Barney's death, like, was this...
Well, we'll get to it. We'll get to it.
So, okay. So, the Andy Garcia prisoner exchange stuff happening in the boat. In the little prison in the boat, what's that called? The brig, I guess. But I guess it's not a brig, but whatever it is. Our guys realize that they can use, I think they call it like the bilge hatch or something to escape by peeing on it. So they do that for way too long.
Incredible scene.
Yep. Then they all escape and do some Expendables stuff. While this is going on, Jason Statham and Tony Jaa make it to the boat. Tony Jaa is now actually going to help murder because I can't remember why, but he has some change of heart, puts on a bunch of cool makeup and like gets a bunch of weapons. And they sneak onto the boat, having their little dinghy that he drove in on, like tied to the boat. So it's like just towing behind it. They fight. They do a lot of expendable stuff. Jason Statham does a lot of extreme motocross, like gun stuff. It's a lot of that. Like down hallways too. It's insane. And eventually everybody meets up, fights together, whatever. They have to escape. Well, before that, I guess Toll Road gets shot. So they have to get him off of there. And what they realize, the plan that's kind of in play, is this boat that they're on is going to cross over into, I think, is it Russia waters or Chinese waters?
Russian.
Okay, yeah. And if that happens and the nuke goes off, which is what it's going to happen in X amount of time, then that will start World War III. And some people, will die, but some people get really, really rich. So they have to stop that by either getting the detonator or something else. I don't remember when this happens, but at some point, they do the prisoner exchange. Andy Garcia shoots the prisoner, and turns out he's the bad guy. I don't think this happens until most of the main characters have left, right?
No, they're all still there because this is right when it happens right after Jason Statham beats up the like main underling, and it's like, where's the kill switch? And then it's the dramatic reveal, like, I don't have it, my boss has it. And then we see Andy Garcia, and it's like, oh no, I never saw this coming. Andy Garcia's the bad guy?
Right, but then
but everyone's still on board at that point.
Oh, okay. So then they escape eventually. After that happens, our main characters escape. Everybody's leaving because they're like, we can't disable this bomb because Andy Garcia throws the detonator into the water. And then Jason Statham, as everybody has left but him, cuts the line because he's a hero. He has to have a heroic death that matters. And he goes and fights all of Andy Garcia's guys and kind of turns the boat around with the handbrake maneuver. And the boat is not now going to explode in the place where Andy Garcia wants. Andy Garcia dies and stuff.
As everyone knows, if a nuclear explosion goes off slightly outside of Russian waters, then no one has any reaction to it then.
Yeah.
It's an oopsie.
It does.
So no, it's,
Yeah, it doesn't trigger the, I don't know, like the dialogue option Putin to make him decide to kill you. But if it does, then yeah, you got to watch out for that. So Lee Christmas is going to die on this boat after killing Andy Garcia. But then a helicopter shows up. And Lee Christmas gets in, and it's being flown by Barney Ross, who was dead before.
What?
I know.
Get the fuck out.
And I don't think Barney explains this at this moment. I think first Barney just blows up the boat, and then they fly away as the nuke goes off and stuff. And Barney explains that he actually faked his death because he knew all this stuff was going to happen because he read the script, and he's actually safe and cool. The guy that died is the guy from before, which we'll get to. And then they just have like another little Expendables party at the end of it. I don't know how they explain this to fucking anybody. I think they all have to go to jail, but beyond that, pretty sure the movie ends after that.
Yeah, sure and then the movie ends with them having murdered a CIA agent with nothing but their own word to say that he was a bad guy.
Yeah, and the nuke went off. And they're so bad at this. But I mean, maybe they didn't even do anything because they're not on the books at all. Well, no, because that woman, the one from like home base who did not seem to be in on it, knows what happened, I guess. So they can trust her. Yeah, it's great. But that's mostly the end. Yeah. I don't know. Did I miss anything? I think that's all of it.
I think you got it.
Cool.
What about when Jason Statham and Megan Fox bone?
I mean, we'll save that for nitpicks. We'll save that for nitpicks.
Okay.
I mean, when I said Jason Statham was in the movie, I assume everybody knew that meant like he's still bald in this one. And, he still has a British accent and he still goes downstairs and does the business like, he does in every movie.
Yeah, he does.
I haven't seen Operation Fortune Ruse de Guerre yet, but I assume that's a big part of the plot of that.
Probably. That's what the Ruse de Guerre is.
Exactly.
That's what they call it in France.
Yeah. But yeah, he does that, and then everybody's another Expendables movie where nobody dies, and they have -1 deaths in this movie, and everybody's fine. They go back to that strip club bar or whatever where they seem to live. The end. So, wow. Diggins, as the winner, would you like to tell us how you thought this movie was?
I would love to do that, Nando. So, listen. Does this movie make any sense? No. Is all the dialogue really poorly written and bad? Of course. Is all the action poorly shot and hard to follow? Yes. Are the effects incredibly cheap and bad looking? Yes. But did I like it anyway? No. But...
Yeah.
But... was there a brief section in the middle of this movie where it was just Jason Statham on a tanker by himself doing some action things where I was like, this is actually more interesting than I thought it would be? Yes.
Yeah.
It's mostly a bad movie. But when everyone besides Jason Statham leaves the movie for a little while, I'm like, this is a decent this is like a middling Jason Statham movie, which is still pretty watchable.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think that gets to the heart.
Yeah, it's just like all the other, like, I'm not trying to say that the other actors in this movie are bad actors. I feel like even in other Expendables movies, like Randy Couture and Dolph Lundgren are putting in better performances. But something about this one, maybe because they're even older now, those two guys specifically. Maybe it's because the dialogue is just so bad. But like, Jason Statham is the only one in the movie who can deliver anything he's supposed to say with anything that seems like a real tone of voice a human being would use.
Yeah.
And my God, the effects are so bad. Like,
yeah, they're awful.
Like, they do seem to have done a lot of practical work, which is cool. They don't shoot that practical work especially well, so it doesn't really come across. But you can tell that they've mostly done practical work because every time it's not practical, it's like splatters of Kool-Aid red CGI blood.
Oh my God.
So much.
Or
so
like
much.
Jason Statham standing in front of a green screen from a movie from the 50s where they're driving a car.
Oh my God. Yeah. Fucking and sometimes
Also
in scenes
great.
where like I'm pretty sure they're in the location. But so I guess they maybe had to do some pickups or whatever, but man, some of those green screens are preposterous. I don't understand it.
So it's just like nearly every facet of this movie is just utterly incompetent, and only the decision to remove everything that's not Jason Statham for a brief period of time and him still doing good work is the only thing about this movie where I'm like, that kind of works. I kind of like that. Unfortunately, it is a mercilessly small section of the movie before everyone else comes back on screen, and it goes back to being incredibly uninteresting. So yeah, the movie's bad. I feel like I might actually like it more than 3 anyway, just because there is that one section I like, and 3 didn't have any of those. But I wouldn't recommend it. What about you, Nando? What did you think?
Hated it. One of the worst. Like, and genuinely, like, I don't hate these movies. I kind of like Expendables in theory. I don't think I've ever liked any of the movies, but like, this kind of movie should be pretty cool. I don't know how they made 4 of them so far, and still, I don't think even scratch the surface on this premise. But even just like, yeah, like you're saying, it's just a worse made version of this. I'm assuming it could be for a million reasons, but like, yeah, like you were saying, some of the special effects are wild. There are 2 shots specifically of a plane that look like I don't even know what they were doing, but it's really those are really weird. Yeah, all the Expendables are boring. The action, like, and we have like these, Tony Jaa, Iko Uwais, like people that should be cool to watch that are just boring because they don't shoot it well. And yeah, all the new Expendables are also boring because like all of these, they refuse to give any of them any traits that are like fun to watch in a movie like this. Like they all have this, except for one character, they all have largely the same specialty in terms of weapons, and they all have largely the same like personality in terms of like how they speak with each other and how they deal with problems in the field. So any of them could be in any car, it wouldn't really matter. Yeah, I just like, man, I did not have a good. This is one of those movies where like I started the movie with 6 people in it. 2 of them left halfway through. The other 4, I waited because I didn't want to make eye contact with them after leaving the movie because I didn't want to have to have that shame with another person.
Good call. Good call.
Yeah, I did not like it. I still think they could work this out. Like I think the 5th one could be the one where they get it because nothing about this premise is bad, and none of the actors in it, except for maybe 1 or 2, are not good actors that haven't turned in performances that have worked in other contexts. But man, like this was not good. GJ, what did you think of Expend4bles?
Oh, it's horrendous. You guys hit all the points. I think one of the things that's just like really insane to me, just as a choice, is like they're like, how are we gonna like make this franchise new and fresh? And like they get new people in it, but they don't choose to like go into those new people at all. Like that would be the way to kind of do this, where maybe you're doing new character exploring or growth or like, I don't know, like literally anything. But this movie is just like wholly uninterested in trying to like explore like other potential themes of this movie. It's fucking bananas. I don't care for it. I think it's bad. I think it's bad. And they should feel bad for making a bad movie. And I guess it's like a sweet payday. Also, like apparently Stallone said this is his last Expendables.
Mhm.
It's wild to me that this would be his last one and he's not in it, unless he's like, I don't really want to do this.
That sounds acceptable, like, as a reason.
I just want to die.
He's like, I want one of those easy Ving Rhames jobs. I don't want to stand up anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, I don't think he did stand up in this entire movie. Maybe for the scene where they're getting the mission done for them, like getting it explained. But like in the bar, he's sitting down. In the plane, he's sitting down.
He's briefly standing up in the bar because his stuntman does the thing where he flips the one guy over the bar.
Yeah, I forgot about that. But yeah, right, like Liam Neeson levels of sitting during the movie, which I honestly respect that more than a lot of the other stuff. Oh man, yeah. Anything else, DJ? Anything else for your thoughts?
Oh no, that's just like my biggest thing is that like I feel like the choices present in this movie are just like indefensible.
Yeah, we'll get to them.
I was also, by the way, in an empty theater, so I was free to just be like on my phone taking notes and stuff. I missed I think I was looking at my phone at like the pivotal moment when Christmas like does the thing to save Barney. I'm like, oh, I guess I won't know whatever he did. I guess I won't.
It doesn't matter because it didn't work anyway, and it wouldn't have mattered if it did because he wasn't in the plane anyway.
It's okay. All he did was, I think he dropped a grenade in the car he was driving, and then drove it into a green screen that had a surface-to-air missile car on it.
That's right.
What do you call
But
this?
then I don't know if you saw this, but then the villain just picks up like a sniper rifle and just one shots the plane and it explodes.
Yep.
So
yeah, incredible.
Yeah, just like Mel Gibson in the last one. These two, they like same fucking shit. Where all villains get a sniper rifle. He's gonna,
and they're so good.
They are so good, and they're gonna fake kill an expendable. Yeah. Oh, well, you guys, hold on. What's that?
Huh?
The wheel. It's back, baby.
What?
The
wheel's back.
Wheelie, what's going on?
It finally escaped from that dungeon we locked it in?
It's making spinning noises, whatever those would be. Oh, okay, wheel. Yeah. All right. So basically what the wheel says is, because we originally stopped doing the wheel because we wouldn't write things before the movie in solidarity with the writer's strike. So since the writer's strike is over, we could use the wheel again. The actor strike really didn't have anything to do with the wheel. But also, I don't know if you guys saw this while we were doing this. SAG said they're negotiating on Monday. They put out like a message to their people. So maybe this will be over quicker than I thought. But yeah, so the wheel is free to return now that the writer's strike is over. We still can't have the characters or the actors, or the characters from the movie come on and promote the movie because that is an actor strike thing. But wheel is free reign.
What does Wheel have to say about their time away?
Squeak, 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 squeak. Tick, 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 tick. It got a lot of got a lot of sleep in, read a couple books.
Oh, that's nice. Did it work on its novel?
It said it was going to, but it actually hasn't made any progress. But you know what? It survived, It's sometimes that's all you got to do, and good for you, Wheel.
Can I say something about the wheel?
Sure.
I want to be as like nice as possible.
Well, great.
DJ about to straight murder this wheel.
You know what? I'm just gonna say because I think it needs to be said. I didn't miss the wheel.
Oh my!
I thought it was a great. Wow. I didn't care for the wheel.
Wheel, cover your ears.
Yeah.
No. I think the wheel needs to hear that. I think it's good that it was gone. It didn't add really anything to the show, and we were better off when we had no wheel.
Oh my!
I truly feel that.
Squeak, 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 squeak. The wheel says it feels the same way about you, and
wow,
that's just the hard truths that come back when the wheel comes back. It's like Bill Maher, it'll say what we're all thinking. Apparently, So you can dish it out, you can't take it. don't be a
Whatever.
podcaster. You know, that's what they
I
say.
guess, yeah, that's the rule.
Yeah, it's the hardest job in the world, being a podcaster.
It's right up there with being no, that's it. It's the hardest job. Yeah, it's like podcaster, mother, nuclear physicist or something. I don't know. What's a hard job? Coal miner, and then yeah,
get that black lung.
That's right. And the wheel, I'm looking at it right now. Oh my god, you guys, it has so many things on it. More than 10, in fact. I guess it's been
more than 10.
Saving up some wheel slices.
Ooh, get ready. We're back to 5-star runtime, 5-star podcast.
That's right.
We're back.
And so I'm going to spin this wheel, and we're going to talk about the things on the wheel. These are our nitpickings. So yeah, are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Wheel, are you ready? Tick, 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 tick. Okay, cool. Here we go. I'm going to spin the wheel. That wasn't a spin. That was the wheel saying it's ready. Here we go. Tick, 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 tick. Oh, okay. It landed on one of mine. Hey, I think that's his ring now. I want to talk about the opening for this scene, or for this movie, the opening scene that we get with, I guess, with Stallone and them. We kind of described it, but Stallone goes to Jason Statham and he's like, hey, I need you to help me beat up a guy because I lost my favorite ring, the one that's big and humongous and made of like plastic probably or whatever. But
yeah, the one I got out of a quarter machine in a supermarket.
Quarter machine in the supermarket at like at the biker conference where everybody got COVID a couple years ago.
The Hot Topic.
Yeah, they so they go to the bar, which is a strip, like I said, strip club, daytime strip clubbing too, which is very sad. Place is packed.
Now, Nando, we don't see these fine ladies take off any of their clothing. They could simply be dancing on poles.
That's true. They are. It's some sort of club with that. The only reason I mentioned that is because the last time we were at one of these, this does not appear to be the original Expendables bar. However, maybe they just always shot around the pole dancing in the middle. I don't know. But they go to this thing, and then they get there, and he's like, that guy took my ring from me. And I think Jason Statham's like, how'd he get it? And he's like, I lost it in a thumb wrestling match. I was drunk. I need it back. And the movie just is okay with them going and being like, give me my ring back. And then the guy's like, no. And then they just like beat him to death and all of his friends. I cannot understand why they thought that they would seem like the good guys in this scenario, because they're not.
Well, I think that this is an Expendables like staple. Like, they're not the good guys, they're like the a-holes. Like, remember in Expendables, I can't remember if it's 1 or 2, but Christmas comes home and he finds out that his girl was like sleeping with another guy, and the Christmas like goes to the basketball court and like beats up the guy and like stabs the basketball like near his nuts.
That's
like,
right.
Fucking deserve that.
And
like
then viciously beats his girlfriend. It's really hard to watch.
This is like core Expendables behavior. I feel like this is what they do.
So like, sure, but at least in that one, it's like
a man has been wronged in that one.
Yeah, like,
and is that an extreme response? Sure.
With this one, it's like, I feel like they could. That's the thing with the scene that really bugged me. This character, Jumbo Shrimp, is the guy that they have to get. Like, they have to get the ring from him, and he is a small man. That's the whole deal. But they don't even do like one thing, have him like smack a waitress's butt or something, just to make us like, actually, it's good that this guy's getting beat up. I'm like, this guy, spending his days at the strip club or something. So like, already, he's not doing incredible. He won this ring fair and square in thumb wrestling. He should get to keep it. It's crazy that this guy comes up with brass knuckles too, just ready to fight all these guys.
Yeah,
humongous brass knuckles.
What he should be saying is like, hey man, look, I know you won my ring. It's really important to me, and it's not really like valuable. Can I like buy it from you or something?
Right.
I think this is like where the rubber meets the road with like the Expendables, where maybe in this universe, like, I don't know if like everyone knows that these guys are the Expendables, but if it's like, if you fuck with one of us, you fuck with all of us, and also if you fuck with us, we kill you. Like, it is you just got to understand, like it's not fair, but like they're the fucking bullies, and they'll fuck you up if shit goes south.
So what you're saying is DJ employs the "you shouldn't have looked at me" defense. Like you
I
didn't want me to kill you. Shouldn't have looked at me. It's your fault.
It seems like that's how the Expendables operate. I'm sorry, like, you know, I'm not saying that's right. I'm just saying that's what it seems to be.
Yeah.
In this universe.
No, I think that's right. It doesn't make any sense. Like, not doesn't make any sense, but like, also they just never like I feel like they've always characterized these guys as like kind of, you know, like not like good, but like not bad. They don't do bad things. They just like do, you know, like the things we all would do, but we don't because we're normal guys. I don't know. It's this whole thing is very bad.
Well, it's like with great power comes great responsibility. They're like, well, with great power comes a greater ass kicking. Let's fucking go.
Yeah,
that's where they're at.
And it's just so it's so bad. This is one of those scenes too that's got a really weird green screen. I don't know if you guys caught this, but after the fight, when him and Stallone are just talking, it's that really clean line around his head kind of thing where you're like, there's no way they're in this room. But it's like they were in this room at some point. Did they not originally film it there? And then it must have been some sort of reshoot or something like that. It's rough. Yeah, and we'll get to Jumbo Shrimp in a second. Like, but it's wild. I spun the wheel again, you guys. Landed on, I forget who this is. I think it's one of DJs. I think we kind of merged a couple of them. This one is just the Expendables cannot be killed. Again, -1 expendable deaths in this movie. They gotta kill one of these guys eventually. I don't know. Did either of you guys think he actually died for a second?
So
no, not a split half second.
When it happened, I was like, absolutely not. There's no way. As the movie was nearing the end, I was like, I don't know, maybe. And then when Jason Statham stayed behind, I was like, okay, no, they didn't.
Yeah, I don't know. I did kind of think he died in the beginning part, mostly because I was like, maybe Stallone just doesn't want to do these anymore, and this is his exit.
I mean, that's true, but of course he couldn't let himself exit without being a super cool badass one more time.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like we have not, the way they explain how he died or how he didn't die, it's like pretty insane. I don't think
it's insane that apparently nobody noticed.
Yeah, like wait, which part?
Every part.
Okay,
it's insane that nobody noticed any part of this.
Yeah, it's a yeah, I think I kind of wish they had killed all of the original Expendables in this.
Oh, like Suicide Squad it? Yeah, I mean that would be great.
Like it's especially crazy in this one because like Jason Statham gets fired from Expendables for doing this thing where he like saves Barney instead of getting the detonators, which ultimately turns out to be pointless, which ultimately wouldn't have mattered anyway. But it's like, Jason Statham, do you know why we use the word Expendables to describe this team? Like, we shouldn't, we don't kill everybody on purpose, but in a point where we kill a guy or don't, we do. Like, none of them want to do Expendable stuff.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. Speaking of Jason Statham, I spun the wheel again. Diggins land on one of yours. Jason Statham is a true king.
Yeah. So Jason Statham gets taken off the team because he tried to save Barney's life, and that's wrong. And everyone's mad at him that he tried to save Barney's life, including the absolutely insane line of logic from 50 Cent / Easy Day. That's like, he wanted his sacrifice to mean something, and you made it not mean anything.
Yeah.
I'm like, absolutely insane thing to say to anyone, let alone the best friend of the man who's grieving, or the best friend of the man who died, who tried to save his life. It's like, if you didn't try to save his life, his death would have meant something. Psychotic behavior.
And also, like, the only thing any character did throughout the whole movie to make me go, I think that guy might be the actual secret bad guy.
Right.
Like, obviously, I thought it was ADRC the whole time. But when that line happened specifically, I was like, maybe they're seeding this guy being a heartless killing machine or something. And I was kind of into it.
Well, he is in the way they all are, but he's the good kind and not the bad kind.
Yeah.
But no, the reason he's a true king is so Jason Statham breaks into Megan Fox's house to steal the secret info so he knows what's going on. Megan Fox finds him and they have their sex fight from the trailer. You remember.
Yeah.
And that sex fight ends with him being like, can you put on some lingerie? And she's like, first, and then she pushes his head down out of frame and gives a big old smile because he's taking care of some business down there. Am I right, fellas?
Hell yeah,
baby.
like in every movie he's in.
We've come a long way from that episode of The Sopranos where the mere fact that Junior goes down on his girlfriend is such a vicious insult that he calls for a hit on Tony.
That's right. Yeah, I'd say it's maybe the only part of the movie that was almost good. Was that bit where it was like kind of funny, but then because they also had their little Mr. and Mrs. Smith fight / they're kissing most of the time, and that could be something.
I wasn't totally clear to me in this movie whether or not they were supposed to be broken up.
I think they broke up in the beginning of the movie, like in the very beginning.
I checked later, and yes, that is correct.
Yeah.
But then in this fight, where she's like not even that mad, he broke into her house. They're doing kisses, and he's crowning himself. And everything. I'm like, and then like she's never mad to see him at any other point in the entire movie. It's like I mean, listen, I know breakups can go smoothly, but this doesn't really feel like an amicable breakup. This seems like they're still together.
Well, I mean, if you break up with some she broke up with him for some reason. I can't remember why. Is it just because he's too cool and sweet? Like
he's something about him being emotionally unavailable.
Right, yeah. And she's a little too emotional, if you ask me, I think that's...
Yeah. Friggin' broads, am I right, fellas?
Absolutely. So they break up, and then his friend explodes in a plane accident, and then I feel like she's like, nah, all right. I guess that counts as he's fine now. I guess I have to be nice to him and let him get down to business. But yeah, because even after he dies when they go back to the Expendables bar, they're like kind of like cool, but also they just seem like one of those couples that's always constantly breaking up, where like everybody
like those two in the friend group, it's like, oh my god, off and on.
Mm-hmm. The first they break up, and then like someone new, like Easy Day, it's like, oh man, that sucks, and everybody else in the group's like, don't worry about it, it'll last for like a week. It's gonna be fine. But yeah, that's some weird. That's weird. I mean, it's cool that he does that. It's a weird sex scene. You guys remember? There's one cut where the camera seemingly like on like a fan above them just kind of rotates over them.
Yeah.
And then we cut to another shot that's pretty much that shot, but from a slightly different angle, and then the scene starts. You think like Jason Statham was like, I want as much proof that my character is slept with Megan Fox as possible. So we're using all the B-roll. We're doing it all. How do you guys think they worked as a couple?
I mean, not very compelling in my opinion.
Oh yeah, terrible.
Yeah, right. Like,
well, the problem is, like, Megan Fox is one of the actors who is not Jason Statham, and therefore every line she says feels like a struggle to care.
Yeah. And she was one of the reasons I was hoping this might be good.
Yeah, you were high on the Megan Foxness of this movie before it came out.
It was a new thing. It was something that felt different. Like, it was like, this is a choice as opposed to just hiring some new fucking guy like Mel Gibson or whatever. But like her and like Iko Uwais, this wouldn't be the first time they've wasted a martial arts star, but like, because they've been doing that the entire time these movies have existed, back with Jet Li. But like with her, I was like, that's something different. And like, what's it gonna be like with her on the team? I know she's sleeping with Jason Statham. What's that dynamic gonna be like? That could be fun. And like, she's not good in the Transformers movies. Those are bad. But I think she's pretty good in like Jennifer's Body and like, New Girl when she's on that. Like, I don't think Megan Fox is a bad actor. But yeah, she just had nothing to do in this. It's a real bummer.
I don't think this was the movie for her. I think it's the problem.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't know. she was like an interesting casting choice. Like, do you think there was like a better like actress who could have like filled this role better than better than Megan Fox?
I don't know. I don't think any actor could have done this, like made this work. I do think you could have had an actor with more kind of just energy that watching this movie you'd be like, this is kind of funny. Like, and it's like she's definitely not the same age. And I don't know how old Megan Fox is, but I feel like this one feels like she's from like a different like kind of Hollywood generation, but like a Keke Palmer or something coming in here and having a lot of energy. That would be different, but also it wouldn't. I don't think it would have made this character any good. Yeah, like Emma Stone, you'd be like, it's a little interesting.
I don't know that.
I mean,
I don't know that Emma Stone would want this job.
Oh yeah, no, neither of them would take it. They shouldn't.
I think you could get like a Charlize Theron to do this. Yeah, right. She's already like a proven action star.
Which Charlize Theron are we getting? Are we getting Cypher? Or are we getting like Furiosa? Actually, either of those could work. Or schlocky, bad line delivery, all that stuff, or like ultra serious, cool, tough. That works too.
I think either of those could work. It's better than this because I just feel like in this she did nothing. It was nothing.
Yeah, we need
What do you mean? She was very important to our main character being briefly emasculated before he could reclaim his stolen testicles by proving what a cool badass he is.
He's a cool badass.
And also, it's just like, I don't know. I mean, the idea that any of these characters have like any sort of long-term girlfriend is pretty preposterous. I guess it makes a little bit more sense if she's also an expendable, but like,
but also is like so thinly established while she's screaming in that first scene.
And that scene, like, she becomes the new leader of the Expendables after Stallone dies. How bad is Toll Road at being an expendable that he can't just get grandfathered into being in charge of them? It's fucking,
he doesn't
must
even
be awful.
Complain.
Yeah,
he's not even like, I think it should be me.
Yeah, I mean, him, like Gunner, I get it, because Gunner does feel like he's kind of a loose cannon, but because Toll Road is written like a fucking piece of wood, there's no good reason why shouldn't be in charge of the Expendables, except for he must be really, really bad at it. And hey, man, if you say so.
It can't be that he's stupid because Stallone is their leader.
That's true.
According to characters in this movie, his plans typically involved him saying like, okay, let's do it.
Yep. Yeah, honestly, like she does her whole little speech about like the mission and she just says like, all right, we're going to do strike teams. We're going to get on the boat. Okay. And then it's like, that's too long. He wouldn't have said less. I'm like, that's already really short, you guys. Like, don't you want to know what you're doing? And maybe they don't. Maybe they do just like get dropped off at a couple of RVs. It's like, go fucking shoot whoever you think deserves it. See if you can get home safe. But also, I mean, you all will because you're Expendables. But, whatever. None of it really matters.
We all made fun in Expendables 3 how they had this whole huge, lavish introduction for Wesley Snipes, and then he didn't really matter that much. But honestly, that is better than being like, oh, and these guys are here. And then also they don't matter very much because then there's nothing. Mm-hmm. Then I just don't care about them at all.
Right. Yeah,
true. Let's talk about that because I spun the wheel again. It landed on the new guys. We got, 4 new characters? 4 new expendable characters, if you don't count Andy Garcia. Mm-hmm. Let's do them in order. Megan Fox, you just kind of talked about. What did she do, by the way? Do you remember like what her specialty?
Knives. She's a redundant knife.
Well, right? She has a knife, but I think she only has that because Lee Christmas gave it to her.
Gives it to her.
Well, but she says, I do what you do, right? Which is go through the whole.
I think she was just saying that she does expendable stuff.
Yeah, that's how I read that. But now you said it, I'm like, is that what they were going for? Her whole thing is Black Widow legs on mouth tackle thing. That's her whole skill set. And if you think we're being sexist, the movie is. That's the only thing she does.
She
does it
like 3 times.
It's the only fighting style women are allowed to have in movies.
Yeah, except for the other one, which we'll get to, which is good. But that's the main one. So we got her. Easy Day, 50 Cent. Awful in this.
He is certainly present in several of the shots.
It's so stiff.
So boring.
It's terrible.
It's like Randy Couture and him were having a boring off in this movie,
Yeah.
Who won?
I almost wish that was what their characters' deals were, where they were like, I don't even give a shit about this. Where, I don't either. And then they just kind of one-upped each other on being in scenes and not talking. Because who won? I think Randy
they have
Couture
a competition to see who notices that they're there first.
Yeah. Because I think Randy Couture it's insane that he's still in these and like is such a big part of these. He might have like the third most lines in this movie.
I think he has at least one memorable scene, while 50 Cent has 0.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean 50 Cent, like, speaking of guys who have no specialty, he really is just like a guy.
He has guns.
Yeah. Why aren't any of
former special ops? He's here to do the thing.
He has an inability to act, and you're like, that's also not a specialization. They all do it. When you watch him do it, you're like, no, he's the guy.
Like, how are none of these guys like the driver, or I don't know, the hacking expert? I guess we fired the hacking expert from the last one, but like
along with everyone else who's new.
Yeah. Oh God. So yeah, 50 Cent, really, really, really bad.
Can you imagine if they had actually brought Ronda Rousey back for this movie?
That would be insane.
It'd be so funny.
Like, I kind of like it a little bit. At least, like, bring her. If we're bringing Randy Couture back, everybody should be on the table because, like,
sure,
none of them are good. There's like a couple of these guys that are good, and it's like, oh yeah, obviously Antonio Banderas has wanted to do 2 of these, but like with some of these people, it's like, I guess Randy Couture technically was in the first one. But I don't think anybody should get grandfathered into being in these movies. That's where we got where we are. Like, it really should be an open call for anybody that's ever been in an Expendable. Whoever shows up on set that day is a main character in this new one.
So you mentioned 2 people who weren't in the movie. Do you know the 2 others who were in the previous ones but were not in this movie?
Like Glenn Powell and them, or people?
No, like they were in all of the previous ones except like this was the first one they were not in.
I mean Arnold wasn't in this, and
Arnold
and Terry Crews, right?
We said him.
We said Terry Crews.
I don't remember if Jet Li is in 2, but he wasn't in this.
Jet Li is in 2.
Yeah, so
Jet Li was the other one who was.
They're fucking. They're busy.
Yeah, they
having canonical homosexual relations.
Yeah, they were too busy.
Yeah, and good for them, man.
Honestly, that's way better use of your time than being involved in this movie.
It's a how they made like Lion King 1.5. It was just what if they did that where they made Expendables 4.5 and it's just them, a rom-com, Arnold's going to meet Jet Li's parents or something. No expendabling happens, but that'd be great. They should do that.
That would be.
They can meet all the other ones too at like a dinner party, like Ronda Rousey and fucking Terry Crews. They can all hang out. Because okay, so we got those 2. Gallon. So then we got Antonio Banderas' son, except not really, but like, what do we think of him?
So imagine if you took the Galgo character from last movie, whose whole like shtick was that he was really annoying, and instead of giving him to a really charming and handsome actor like Antonio Banderas who can make that work, you gave it to some guy.
Yeah.
It turns out then that character's just annoying.
Yeah, he was rough, man. Like,
but we did learn some fun things about him.
We did. And like, I wanted to like it.
Is there a certain thing on the wheel, or should I just say it?
No, it's on the wheel. Oh, of course. Okay. Well, we can get to it now. I mean, what did we learn about him, Diggins?
Well, we found out that our good friend, I don't even know this actor's name, but
Jack Scipio.
Sure.
Or Jacob Scipio, excuse me.
Gallant is a tick, 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 tick. A little piss boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
If you think I'm just being silly, there's an extended sequence of him talking about how much he likes to receive golden showers.
Yep. Yeah.
So like,
and goes into graphic detail of how that works.
And then kind of receives one a little bit, So
an indirect golden shower from Toll Road, yes.
Yeah. That was weird.
That was
so weird.
Fucking weird.
Because like, yeah, I think you're right. Like the Antonio Banderas thing, it works with Antonio Banderas, because he's Antonio Banderas, but B, because he's usually cool, and in this movie he's not, and like he's playing against type, and that's well, I think he's like the best part of 3. But yeah, they just and I like when I was watching this movie, I was like, oh, I guess if it's his real life son, this kind of works, but it's not. This person's not related to Antonio Banderas, so it's miserable. I hated it, and he was trying. I've got to give him credit, like he was doing much better work than like Randy Couture or whatever, but it just didn't work.
The thing is, like, Galgo in the last movie was like a motor mouth who was annoying, but he was like talking about the things that were happening. He was just talking way too much about them. This guy just tells stories about all the weird fetish sex he's had.
Yeah, like
who is the screenwriter who loves to get pissed on, who snuck all of this into this movie?
I mean, we can figure this out. It's only probably 1 or 2 people on this, besides maybe it's Stallone, but also, there's 3 screenwriters on the screenplay by, another person on story by, and another person on characters by. So it's either Kurt Wimmer, Ted Daggett, Max Adams, Spencer Cohen, or Dave Callahan. So whoever it is,
somebody somewhere out there, there's a piss tape of one of these men.
Yeah. And like, I don't know. And also, it's 2023. I get maybe this movie was written in 2014. Everybody knows what a golden shower is. You don't have to explain it. It was in the news for a while, a lot. Like, people that didn't want to know what it was had to learn. So, yeah, I think we're all on board.
Yeah.
And then the last member of the team, Lash. What do we think of her?
Good old Lash. Literally nothing. They gave us nothing.
They don't even give her even the mild intro the other 2 get. We just go to a briefing and she's standing there, and you just have to be like, I guess she's on the team now?
Yeah, listen, and that was really upsetting, because this was another thing that I liked from the trailer, was this woman with a whip or something. And she maybe uses it once, kind of twice, I guess, but like in the same kind of bout of action. Yeah, she really, it's also on the wheel, but she really wants to have sex with Randy Couture's guy.
Does she, or is it more of like I don't know, not like, I don't want to say father figure, but just like she thinks he's like a cuddly teddy bear. I'm not convinced.
I don't know.
No, yeah. Okay.
I would say her like thing is Expendables fangirl, because she does have that energy when she meets Jason Statham. It's like, oh my God, you're so cool. I can't believe I'm meeting you.
Yeah.
So I bet maybe, like Randy Couture is just, because he's such a block of wood, he's the only expendable that hasn't been able to pick on any of the signals or something. And like, he's because she seems like she's like, and that's the thing about her. I like this. I like the idea of like the, 3rd generation expendable who like thinks they're cool, the same way that like we would think meeting Arnold Schwarzenegger is cool. But yeah, they give her like maybe 2 lines. And one of them is like, I mean, one of the lines is direction, which is like, look at Randy Couture's dick as much as you can. Like, go out of your way. Like, this is a movie, like you're Mr. Bean or something.
Your eyes should be glued to that hog.
Oh God.
Yeah, it is. Oh man, sucks. Really sucks. But yeah, she is also an expendable. Which one's the best? Is any of them the best? Yeah, I don't know.
I guess her, because she's the least boring. Because she does so little, she doesn't have a chance to do anything that makes me dislike her.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think I'm on the same page. It's like, I think everything she was doing was fine and good, as opposed to the other ones. It would have been funny if she was the secret villain, but she still had like 1 line, and then they just revealed it's her, and you're like, okay, I guess she was staying quiet. That makes sense as what you would do if you were her.
That's usually how I play. Like when you're in Mafia, you try to like smooth the background a little bit, so that the people who are talking get all the suspicion. No,
see, that's how you lose Mafia. If you win, you get in immediately. Like you want to gain some suspicion by asking everybody how their balls are hanging. That's a good way to. It's a good way to really,
it's a classic
get off everybody's
opener.
radar.
It's a classic opener. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's spin the wheel again. It landed on I think this is one of DJ's, maybe Diggins, I can't remember. Viral sensation Lee Christmas. Okay, yeah. What do we think of him? What's going on with this? Because they didn't say it in the summary. I'd like to explain it.
It's a phenomenal scene. So essentially, Lee Christmas must now go into the newspaper classifieds to find work.
A thing that definitely still exists.
We're talking about nitpicks. It's just there's no fucking way. Also, you're a former expendable. You're like a god or whatever.
Yeah.
Like you can't get better. You don't got any other connections. You got to go to the fucking newspaper classifieds.
You can't go to Arnold Schwarzenegger and be like, "Hey, can I be in your mercenary company now?"
Yeah,
right.
There's so many apparently.
And also, like, Jason Statham is like older. I would believe that Sylvester Stallone would like look in the newspaper classified, but I feel like Jason Statham is LinkedIn age at least. He doesn't have to be that plugged in, but yeah, like he's hot. And he's not just looking at the classifieds. He's looking at the classifieds and then circling the one that he likes. Like,
yeah, that's how you get it done, baby.
Yeah.
Are the screenwriters for this movie also in their 80s?
I mean, let's see.
Is everyone associated with this movie in their 80s? So that leads to him finding personal detail or bodyguard, whatever, for a social media influencer. And it's like, well, I guess this is what I have to do now. And so we cut to a pool party with a social media influencer, which, like, I don't know if they were going for like an Andrew Tate kind of vibe or just like, oh, we hate social media influencers and we're going to portray them as fat slobs who shit on women.
Yeah, I don't know enough social media influencers to know if this is a specific dig, but I'm going to guess probably not.
I'm not going to say there's no social media influencers like that.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there is. I mean, you already said one, Andrew Tate.
Right.
Yeah, so...
Do you think this guy is also actually running a sex trafficking ring?
I mean, that would explain all the women.
That's true.
Yeah, that he's just shitting on. So basically what happens is Lee Christmas goes viral and all the commenters are talking about his huge penis because he beats up this shitty influencer who's talking bad about women. So everyone loves him now.
I love that all the people who are watching this stream who are ostensibly this man's fans are like immediately see Jason Statham and are like, wow, he's so handsome. And then when he starts beating up the guy they came to watch, they're like, so cool.
Yeah, Eve.
I love the ones that it's like, he's probably got a big eggplant.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Do you think they let Jason Statham write the comments on the feed?
Probably, yeah. Because they're all positive. None of them are like, who the fuck is this guy? They're all like, so hot, so cool, big penis.
None of them are also like, NFT scam, XXX, message to whatever.
Well,
and also,
Nando, it's not NFTs anymore because I don't know if you saw, they've all collapsed in value. Every NFT is worthless now.
Diggins, I think what you don't know is that actually they're right around the horizon. Because what happened to all those Donald Trump? Remember those Donald Trump NFTs of him like as a superhero with big muscles?
Yeah.
Can I like pick one of those up for like dirt cheap? Because that was the funniest thing I've ever seen. Oh man.
I mean, you could do that, or you could find a JPEG of it and save it to your computer, and it's the same thing.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's true. It's oh my god. What was his job, by the way? To just maintain security for this guy? Like,
yeah,
I guess. Unfortunately, the biggest threat was his own security. Honestly, probably not good for Lee Christmas. Like on his resume.
Oh yeah, I mean,
great,
it's probably terrible for his job prospects. He's also probably getting sued.
Absolutely, it's you have the whole thing on footage, like on tape. Like,
no, it's an open and shut case.
It's
like,
so clear that he was going to punch.
This guy was being a dick is not a defense against assault.
I mean, I was going to say, it's so clear that he's going to punch this guy that before he even punches him, a couple of the commenters are like, he punched him. So like, it's he's going to jail.
Well, they know the concept of lag, the screenwriters, but they thought it went the other way, that the comments show up a little bit before the real event.
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
later, much later, when Jason Statham is on the boat, there are the guards who are watching that viral video, and they're like, "Oh, I love this guy. I would love to meet him." Are they talking about Jason Statham or the social media influencer?
Oh, Jason Statham.
Yeah, Jason
100%.
Statham.
That's the joke.
Right, okay. Yeah. That's what I figured. I just
Sorry,
for some reason
hold on.
it wasn't.
Let me rephrase that. That's the joke.
Yeah. And it's like a joke that could work in a movie that does the joke, which is they have him show up and then like not kill these guards, just, you know, autograph their guns and leave.
It's you.
Yeah. Hey, I'm here. I hired me as security too. You know, or you know what? That would be it. Have him pose with one of them to do a punch in the face, like for a picture, because all his friends will love it, and then just actually punch that guy and kill him.
Oh, you know what? You know what was actually kind of funny to me? Similarly, when Jason Statham first starts infiltrating the ship, and the one guy catches him, and he, like, when he turns around, he's like, Conan, what are you? You almost gave me a heart attack. And the guy's like, huh? Wait, what? And just taking the familiar tone confuses him enough that he gets to stab him in the face.
Yep.
I was like, that's good.
Yep.
I enjoyed that.
Yep.
Yeah, it worked. I feel like it would work. It's my strategy for if I ever have to do one of these. You just
My strategy, as I outlined in Retribution, obviously now we know that Andy Garcia was the secret bad guy the whole time. But if you are Andy Garcia and you're not the secret bad guy, be like, then kill me, coward. You need me. So fucking do it.
I mean, this also brings up, because doesn't Iko Uwais also have a moment like that when they're infiltrating the compound? Like in the very beginning, he like kills a guy, then runs up, pretends to be part of the crew to get close enough to the next guy, and then kills that guy. It's like a sick move. It's good. I hope Jason Statham teaches the rest of the Expendables.
Well, the problem is that trick requires you to know how to act. It's just no chance.
Yeah.
What's next? Oh, I spun the wheel again, you guys. Landed on one of Diggins's, I think. Hold on, we forgot the backstory. Yeah, do I talk about the Lex Luthor of this universe and how important all the things he's been doing are?
Yeah, so this is a little earlier, but when 50 Cent comes on and then Andy Garcia shows up and it's like, here's the mission. And then they open up the mission and Jason Statham sees it's Ocelot. He's like, Ocelot, well, you tell me about this. And you're all like, what? And then Randy Couture looks slightly off center of the camera and goes, yeah, so there was this guy that Barney wanted to get, but he didn't get him. And now he's pretty mad about that.
Yeah, honestly, I can't even remember. What is the Ocelot story?
That's basically it.
Did he but was Ocelot like a crime lord, or what did they think he was?
Arms dealer, I guess.
Man,
I think they say he's like an arms dealer of some kind.
For people that, and like the IMDb summary said, you know, use every gun they can find. They really hate arms dealers, but like between Mel Gibson's guy and him, it's like, I don't know who you expect to get your guns from. I guess just the military, but
yeah, because they just work for the military. They're just a PMC hired by the U.S. military and the CIA. They don't take any other kinds of jobs.
Apparently not. I mean, besides social media influencer, but
when times are desperate,
yeah. I wish I had the movie in front of me so I could like screenshot the jobs that Jason Statham like passed over for social media influencer's bodyguard.
I know one of them was line cook.
He could be a good line cook. I feel like he's got high pressure, situations. He's used to that. He could throw knives around like it's nothing. Why isn't he being a cook?
That's true.
Oh my God, he'd be a great cook.
Like, hibachi sushi chef thing, like you can like cut it all in real time. Yeah, he'd be great.
Oh my God, this movie stinks.
Plus, all these guys could already do everything anyway. Like there's nothing they can't.
That's true. Besides all pee on command, something that
but one. By the way, thank goodness he was holding it in.
Yeah, very nice of you, dude. I don't know how long you thought we were gonna be imprisoned for, but it was probably like the kind of hey, if you gotta pee, you could do it kind of time.
Yeah,
it's not like give it another minute.
It's not gonna be a bathroom on the way.
We don't have intermission for this nuclear like fucking boat. Weirdo.
Well, listen, guys, there were ladies present.
I mean, but one of them wanted to see his. Well, we'll get to it. But yeah, the backstory is weird. I don't like it. It's weird that that they're still introducing secret villains from the past.
Yeah.
It's also a problem because like these characters are just too old. If this character's from their past, that eliminates like half the cast. You know, when was Megan Fox secretly, doing this against Barney in her,
Yeah, it was like
preschool?
25 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that pretty much eliminates them. But yeah, no, so, and also, I think the backstory thing that he's telling us is also the like secret mission that went south that gets unsealed because Barney dies.
Yeah, I think that's right. Do you remember what that was?
I don't think they ever really say. It was just some mission that involved Ocelot and confirms the identity of this guy in witness protection who knows who Ocelot is, whom apparently in this whole 25 years, no one has ever thought to ask.
Yeah.
If he could just like, I don't know, draw a picture of Ocelot or something.
Well, you see,
before they send him off to witness protection, they weren't like, by the way, can you tell us who Ocelot is?
Yeah, please.
That's the thing. The character that does that is Andy Garcia. Every time he's like, I'll talk to him, you guys. I think I've actually good rapport with this guy. Hey, any guesses on Ocelot? Nope. He said no. He can't even guess. I don't know. Somewhere like, so I think he's like a black man somewhere between 6'10" and 6'11". So go look for that guy.
Go look for Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah. He should be one of these. He's got charisma. He'd be great in one of these, actually.
He has at least a Randy Couture's worth of charisma.
Oh my god, yeah. I've seen Kazam. I've seen, Steel. He could do at least this, if not more. But oh yeah. Let's spin the wheel. Let's spin the wheel again, you guys. Landed on one of mine. We kind of talked about this a lot, but this one's just called, excuse me, Ocelot. When you guys heard the name Ocelot was the bad guy's name, did you like spit your drink out? Like, what the fuck are they doing?
Yeah, because
do you think
doesn't make any sense?
Do you think they knew when they made this movie that is the name of the guy from Metal Gear? Like that?
It's possible they did.
If it was,
it's
listen,
very possible
if it was just that he was named Ocelot, I'd be like, I don't know, Ocelot's like a big cat, kind of thing. Like,
right.
I can see that just being a cool name you thought of on your own. But then Jason Statham goes on a tanker mission to take down Ocelot.
Yeah.
Where he's a tanker stealth mission to take down Ocelot, who is trying to engineer a state of perpetual war in the world. And I'm like, well, hold on a second. Wait. And also nuclear weapons are involved. Also a huge thing. I'm like, wait a second.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on.
They should have got all in and find a way to like make like a giant mech, and it's like, I think they're working on some kind of giant robot.
And then
it's metal and it's got gears.
And then Andy Garcia should have been possessed by the ghost of the man that his transplant arm is from.
I mean, they should have had Jason Statham hide under a big cardboard box just once for a second. Wouldn't have been hard. Yeah. Oh my god.
And also, then I would have much more easily accepted Stallone coming back alive at the end.
Yes.
He would be Big Boss.
That's right.
Yeah.
How many of these do we have to do before the bad guy is the senator guy from the Revengeance one?
Armstrong.
Armstrong. That's who I want in one of these so badly.
Oh man. I would love it if we get a football player U.S. senator filled with nanomachines who does wrestling moves on the heroes
and like yells at him about like capitalism or whatever. I can't remember what his speech is, but it's great.
Yells at him about how he's a libertarian and that's cool.
Yeah. I do think
fuck the flag.
I don't think Dwayne Johnson is an incredible actor. I do think his life, every moment in his life has led to him playing that character and learning all the lessons of Black Adam and making him incredibly unlikable. But yeah, we've only got so much time before, he's just contracted to do Red Notice sequels for the rest of his life because it's the most successful movie ever made. So we gotta get that done quick.
No, not a bad gig.
Not
a bad gig.
Ocelot, man. What a crazy, so weird.
If he had pulled out a revolver at any point in this movie, I would have been like, fuck off.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
I kind of wish Jason Statham had like dressed up a little bit, because he does have his little outfits, but none of them are Solid Snake or anything like that.
Yeah, we want to see them cheeks, Jason Statham.
Yeah. Woo! I mean, listen, I do like his outfits. I keep talking about it. I love the little hat he wears on the first mission. like he's, like his little beret. I think that's great. And I like the hat.
Good.
I like the outfit that what's his name wears, that Tony Jaa wears to do his mission, to do this. Whatever it is,
His little did you realize that I'm Asian outfit?
But like, okay,
his little straw hat.
Well, but like also he had like all the face paint and stuff, and like he just I'm not familiar enough. This had to be a reference to something. It seems so specific. I think the only actual bit of the movie that gave me any joy was the moment where he shows up for that fight and Jason Statham's like, cool makeup. And he's like, thanks. And I'm like, oh yeah. This is a movie. This is like them being fun. Yeah, crazy. I spun the wheel again, you guys. Landed on one of Diggins's. This is the irresistible allure of Toll Road's hog. Let's talk about it.
Yeah,
baby.
So to open the bilge trap or bilge door, whatever it is, they like try to like pry it open, but it's no good. It's got to be wet. Which okay, this is a It's Always Sunny clip for me where it's like that sounds wrong.
Yeah,
I don't know enough about boats to dispute it.
That's right. I had the exact same thought. I was like, probably not, but this movie and in general, this movie is not a movie where I'm like, I'm sure they did their homework though on the bilge thing. They probably have
they
an
did
expert.
all their Metal
they
Gear
paid.
Solid homework. Of course,
That's
they
true.
surely did their boat homework.
That's true. Maybe this was in the Metal Gear Solid game. I forgot, but maybe that's part of it.
It would not shock me.
Yeah.
But anyway, so to make it open, they're like, somebody's got to pee on it, and Toll Road has been holding it in this whole time. So Toll Road does a big pee on the bilge door, and it's not just that people don't give him privacy. People are craning their necks to get a look at that hog. The people demand to know what Randy Couture is packing.
And like, I don't know, man. I feel like on a co-ed Expendables team, there's no like locker room moment where if you really, if you're Lash, you could check. I feel like you could get a peek.
Yeah, they have that. They have the shower rooms from Starship Troopers.
Exactly,
it's just
right?
all together.
Why don't they have that for Expendables? I mean, I know why you wouldn't, because it'd be horrible. But like, might as well for these guys.
And listen. How old is Randy Couture?
I mean, 50 at least, right? Like,
look, yeah, at least,
guys.
At least.
I don't want to be gross. It's veiny.
Ugh. I don't know though. So like, is he? So he's, by the way, he's 60. I looked this up, which
it's veiny.
Is he like a steroids guy? Is one of those? Because then
he was in UFC before it had rules.
That's true.
Like he was in crazy UFC.
Yeah,
So
maybe he's not good in this one. I mean the bit where he's got this apparently irresistible hog, that's kind of fun, I guess, but yeah.
I think if they weren't cowards, though, then we would have seen full frontal on screen.
You know what? Yeah, why not? Might as well. This one was this R?
I don't.
It was because there was blood in it.
Right.
That's the only difference. And also, people said fuck words.
Yeah, I do think there were a couple fucks as well. Yeah.
Which is the only difference between this movie and 3 in terms of like why this got an R and 3 didn't. Which really shows how much saying, well, it wasn't R, so that's why people didn't like it, misses the point.
Yeah. It's man, yeah, it's weird. I spun the wheel again. Is this laying on one of mine? Hey, so who wrote that song? You guys, they did that thing. We love it. We love it so much.
They had
to.
At
one point, to distract the guys, they put a dead guy on a forklift or something and drove him towards the rest of the guys. But
like all movies, when a dead man is in a vehicle, then that vehicle will go forward forever
until it needs to stop, and then it does, like it does in this bit. But not just a guy, because they also played some music. From
a boombox that they found somewhere.
I assume they brought it, like maybe not the whole boombox, but like I guess the tape.
Easy Day always has that.
Yeah, and I would too if I were the guy that recorded it, or his brother or something. Yeah, like
he's just a big fan, Nando.
And man, I know some 50 Cent songs. Like I grew up around when this was very popular.
I
Like
know that he got shot 9 times.
he did get shot 9 times. You know, he
Mm-hmm.
was like I feel like his music has some energy usually, and they picked one of his more kind of, I don't know, like low energy songs for this, which is right in keeping with the rest of this movie. Because they picked PIMP, which I think that's what it's called. I don't know. It's that one. But then they kill the guy or whatever, stop the car, and then the fight goes, but they don't play the song during the fight. And that reminded me,
Yeah.
there's no music in this movie. Like all the action scenes, there's like no score. It's really weird. I don't know. It's just like my theater was broken or something, but like there were so many moments where I'm just expecting like some sort of badass guitar riff or something they just didn't put in. But
yeah, I don't.
Yeah, like.
Do you think he like they asked him like, Curtis, what do you want? You know,
Yeah, I mean, do you think he has to like get the rights from someone else? You know, like those people that actually have all the rights to all the music, and they wouldn't give them in the club or like
works?
Candy Shop or any of the songs people like. I mean, PIMP is popular, I guess, but I don't know. It's like I feel like you could throw. I don't know. There's just more fun songs for this.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I'd like to, I mean, no, it would not be worth anybody's time to do this, but I think you could take a version of this fight in the end, this bit specifically when the Expendables are all kicking ass at the same time, and put the music in the background and make it sound cool.
I don't know. That would require some amount of coordination and effort.
Right. Yeah. And it just does not have that. It's so,
Plus,
so frustrating.
Nando, they only had $100 million, and you can see how they lavishly spent that money up on screen.
I mean,
with all the cool effects and great choreography. So how can they possibly afford to license songs?
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of Andy Garcia movies. I assume he's not going for 50 million these days. So then I cannot figure out where that money was. There was one, like, it's crazy how much of this movie takes place on the boat and how many boat sets they were able to reuse, I'm assuming. But also it was mostly green screen anyway. So like, I don't know. I mean, maybe the motorcycle budget on this was just through the roof, and it was good when it was going. It was almost fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, they spent so much money. Expendable again, you guys landed on one of Diggins' heroically overcoming sobriety. Let's talk about Gunner. He's back, baby. Gunner. He's got an arc.
So Gunner's arc in this movie is that he has gone sober. He no longer touches alcohol. He's like really cleaned himself up. He's got his online girlfriend and everything, and his life's just really turned around. And all of his friends think he's boring now. And it turns out also he can't shoot a gun good anymore.
Well, he also wears glasses, but doesn't wear them for sniper stuff sometimes. Because after he misses his first shot, he like takes them and puts them on. So I don't know, man. This guy probably shouldn't be doing sniper stuff, especially since they're all interchangeable. Just get a different expendable for this.
So on the boat when they're fighting, he like takes a bunch of shots and he misses all of them, and he looks so down. He's like, have I lost it? Am I just too old? And then, like Popeye the Sailor Man, he pulls out the flask that he keeps on his like leg pocket, and is like chugs down all of the whiskey or whatever the hell's in his flask, and then instantly kills a guy with every single shot he fires from that point forward.
Yep.
Yeah. Letting you know, kids, if you're bad at something, fall off the wagon. Become an alcoholic again, and then you'll be good at it.
Yeah, what the fuck is the message here? Like, I don't understand.
Like, if the movie was good, and it's not, obviously, but you figure they do that gag, but he would have to reach past the alcohol to get his old lady glasses or something. And he would do the fight in old man glasses or old lady glasses, like the big giant ones that George Costanza wears in that episode of Seinfeld. Because these movies about aging action stars are afraid to be about aging action stars, they can't do that. Like, they can't have the beat be, he embraces being an old man in this moment. And it's infuriating. And also, does that mean he was drunk for all the rest of these movies?
Yes.
I did not catch that. Was that ever communicated in the movies?
I don't know, maybe. DJ?
Are they all drunk the whole time?
Well,
I think in 1 or 2, his drunkenness is like a problem.
Wow.
Like he is drinking too much, and that is like debilitating. and it's bad that he drinks.
He needs to drink the exact right amount.
Yeah, exactly.
What a message.
Because I think, God, I can't remember which one, but they're like the drinking comes up in a problematic way. But yeah, that's why I think this movie is relying that you don't see the other movies. But then I'm like, did they want you to know like the cauliflower ear bit from the first movie? And then the other one is when Christmas is like, hey, you almost shot me. And is like tapping on the top of his head. That's in the other movies. So like, I couldn't tell what they wanted you to know. So
I want to say this beat is also repeated with Desha, Tony Jaa's character, which I alluded to earlier, where Jason Statham wants him to come with him onto the tanker. And Tony Jaa's like, no, killing people murders my soul. The more people I kill, the more my soul gets annihilated. I had to stop. And if I start again, then I'm afraid I will never be able to, become human ever again. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty heavy, Tony Jaa. But I mean, good for you that you know this about yourself. And then he shows up like 20 minutes later, like, nah, fuck it.
Yeah.
I'll just kill more. It's fine.
I sure do love killing.
So what this movie wants you to know is that sobriety and pacifism are only holding you back. You must be as drunk and violent as you can manage.
Yep. And like, man, the Expendables suck at being Expendables. And like, Tony Jaa's not Expendable, so that he doesn't. I mean, but it kind of is, because he like knows Barney. I imagine Barney knows him from stuff like this. So I don't know, man. They like. I feel like if anything, Randy Couture is just like the one Expendable who isn't like these guys, and it's just like shows up to work on time, does Expendable stuff, then goes home, and all the rest of these guys are like, man, like lunatics. Like the stories you hear about the Rolling Stones in the 80s are these guys. It's a nightmare.
They're the bad boys of the PMC world.
Yeah, like they're the ones that nobody wants to talk to at the lunch table. Like everybody avoids them at PMC gatherings because like everybody puts their heads down like it's a fucking Expendables. Like, oh, he's cool. No, don't worry. Trust me. You don't want to talk to him. It's not worth it.
Yeah, the other guys are like, I just got in this industry because I hate non-white people and love murder. Those guys are weird about it.
Yeah, I mean, it was this or line cook.
It was this or the United States military, but it turns out I was too racist even for them.
I spun the wheel again, landed on one of DJ's. The Plan. You want to talk about The Plan?
Goddamn. Okay, so to what Diggins said earlier, it is very Metal Gear in that it is like, it seems like the bad guy, Andy Garcia's character, wants perpetual war. However, the problem is that he wants to set off a nuke like in Russia to make it seem like it's the US, but he like is on the boat, has no way to escape, and he throws off the detonator. Yep. What the fuck was he gonna do? I legitimately could not figure out. It's like, well, you'll have a perpetual war, but like you'll be dead. Like he even says after throwing off the detonator, "There's money to be made in war, and I'm gonna make all the money." I'm like, fucking how? You're gonna be dead.
Well,
what do you hope will happen?
They do show them with like some rafts or boats or something that they're gonna get on, and this is the part that fucking kills me.
Yeah,
where because Jason Statham has turned the boat around as him and his goons are about to get on these rafts. And Andy Garcia's like, go back up there and turn this boat back around. The guy's like, the nuke's about to go off. I'll fucking die. And then he shoots that guy and is like, does anyone else have any objections? And what they should say is, the consequence for doing what you want is that we'll die. You'll kill us if we don't is not a compelling argument.
Yeah, I don't know.
But what they do instead is go do it.
Yep. They're good little boys.
Just insanity.
I mean, I don't think we're the Ocelot Squad is not getting our best and brightest.
They're not sending their best.
No, yeah, it's even worse than Expendables. I do think eventually some of these
got a whole bunch of Johnny Sasaki's on this team. Am I right there, fellas? The people out there know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that reference is 100, 200 feet over my head. I totally missed it. But
it's a Metal Gear Solid reference. Don't worry.
Okay. So I've never played the games. I've seen them and I've read the stories of them. Like I know all the weird stuff that happens, but I'm not super acquainted with them.
I've played I don't want to say all of them because then people will be like, oh, you played Acid? You played Ghost Babel? And like, of course I didn't. Why would you even say that? But I've played most of the mainline ones.
They're pretty cool. But yeah, this plan stuff. I mean, I guess, I'm pretty sure at one point Andy Garcia, because Andy Garcia's prisoner arrives on a helicopter that Jason Statham blows up.
Yes.
And I think that happens before he throws the detonator.
Nope. He throws the detonator right after Jason Statham blows up the helicopter.
Man, that's insane.
Yep. It is insane. That's what I'm saying. What was your fucking plan? I just like, also, the other weird thing is like, so we're escalating this to like nuclear conflict, not like, I don't know, some kind of missile attack on Russia, like nuclear conflict. It's like, World War III. What if it's over escalation, then it's nukes everywhere and everyone's fucking dead?
Yeah.
Like the whole World War III thing isn't usually like, and then we're all okay. Like it's like apocalypse shit. So
I'm also just,
I don't know, but this movie has to escalate.
I'm really confused as to how a CIA operative also manages to be an infamous international arms dealer. Like,
yeah.
I imagine that entails a lot of travel, a lot of brokering deals, a lot of communications that presumably those things get monitored, right?
Right.
By people above him?
And it's not like people think that Iko Uwais' character is Ocelot. Like, it's pretty clear to all of our characters that is someone working for Ocelot. I can see a version of this where there is some sort of figurehead and then they kill him and it's like, oh no, that wasn't him. But even though when he dies, I think Jason Statham does expect him to have the detonator and he doesn't realize that like he's not Ocelot.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, now that I think about it, I don't really know what that was all about. I mean, for a movie where the bad guy is secretly in charge of the good guys, I still don't understand why he even sends them. Why are they on the boat at all?
I mean, well, Nando, because shut the fuck up.
Well, they've got so they've got to be captured so that he can get them to agree to a prisoner exchange so that he can find Fang Li Bai so he can kill him and nobody can identify him anymore.
Right. But like, why do you make that also the nuke mission?
Just shut up.
It doesn't seem like they'd want them to do the same mission.
Because, Nando, we're running out of time in the movie.
Yeah.
You want us to have 2 more set pieces? Be real.
Like, there's a version of this movie, or at least a version of the explanation that I would buy, where this is more public than they make it in this movie, and people know that the Expendables are doing it, and the narrative that they're going to sell is that the Expendables went rogue, or America sent its elite team to blow up this tanker and kill every Russian. But they're not doing that because they're already putting up the fake American flags anyway. So they're planning on starting this war as fake Americans and not telling people the Expendables were there. So yeah, I just don't know what would have happened. Also, there's that other woman who works for Andy Garcia or with him or something. I imagine she would tell people what happened.
Yeah.
She survives. So yeah, his plan, it's very dumb. Like, I don't know. Maybe he just hates himself. Just the hate.
Also, I appreciate they figure out the Ocelot thing without the aid of like the guy. Like they get the prisoner and it's like, oh my god, it's Ocelot, but they figure it out anyway. Like it really didn't matter.
I mean, yeah, like why even kill Ocelot? Why kill that guy in front of everybody and become secretly evil? You could just become secretly evil. Everyone's gonna find out or they won't. I don't know. All that shit doesn't make sense. I also don't really like Andy Garcia in this movie.
There's a line where him and Christmas are like shouting across the boat, and it's not the one that's right at the end. It's like before, and I forget the word, but there's like a word that Andy Garcia says like 8 times, and I'm like, why was that on a reshoot? Why did they just like take that take? It's like, you want to see something, Christmas,
yeah.
You're going to see something horrible.
I do remember, but I don't know what the word was, but there was a really weird, like, bit where I'm like, oh, is this villain of a stutter that we haven't heard yet, but this is part of the character, like Sam Jackson in the Kingsman movie? But no, I don't think it is. I think he just forgot or something, or...
It was weird.
It was weird.
It was really
also,
weird.
It's weird how much he waves his arms around in that scene.
He does a lot of
but it's the kind of arm waving where it feels like a guy who didn't get any other direction. It says just wave your arms. And he does it, and then they went, that was what we asked him to do. And he said he'll only do it once. So we're going to have to use the take where he does nothing but wave his arms and flubs one of the lines. I don't know. We'll figure it out after the fact. Yeah, it's weird. I spun the wheel again, you guys. Landed on the last thing. One last murder. Let's talk about the last murder of the movie. Who could it be?
Who could say?
Who could it be?
So Barney shows up, saves Christmas's life. Barney saves Christmas.
Nah, good.
They go to their bar. They're all celebrating. They've crossed out the in memoriam to Barney Ross thing.
Yeah,
everyone's having a good time. And Lee Christmas is like, I want to know who these bodies is that we've apparently still up in this bar. They still just got what is presumably a decaying human arm here in this bar.
This is going to be like a relic, like in the fucking churches in Europe, where it's just, this is the arm of an expendable. And it's going to be behind glass, and it's going to wither, and everybody's just going to go and pray to it, I guess, or whatever. I don't know. It looks so weird. Can you imagine just walking in this bar? What's that? Oh, that's this bar's a lot of mercenaries usually hang out here, and one of them exploded. So they kept his arm.
Well, he was like the main one. He was like the guy.
Yeah, so, like we wouldn't have done it for number 2, but like...
Yeah,
he was the guy.
You remember that guy on the internet who punched that other famous guy? This was his best friend. So that's how you know he's important.
Yes. Oh my god.
So he wants to know who it is. So we get the flashback to how Barney survived, which is that he just jumped out with a parachute, which you'd think it was a clear desert sky. It was a black parachute.
Black.
Anyone at all would have seen it.
With the trademark Expendables logo on it. Because you can only see from the above because they're really into marketing Expendables.
You think
brand management's so important.
Somehow nobody on the team saw that, and neither did the bad guys. But in order to make it convincing, he also pulled out our old friend Jumbo Shrimp, who's he's like drugged, beat up.
Yep.
I don't know what. And sticks him in the pilot's seat, puts his ring on his finger before he jumps out so that there's going to be a body there. Now, you're probably thinking several things right now. One, isn't Jumbo Shrimp like half Stallone's size? Yeah. That's fine.
It's fine.
2,
it's totally fine.
Isn't that fucking murder? Didn't he murder a man? And like,
well, to be fair, Jumbo Shrimp did, in a completely fair thumb wrestling match, beat Sylvester Stallone's character. So what else is he supposed to do but murder him?
Yeah. And 3, isn't this a wildly disproportionate revenge for a very minor crime?
I mean, it's so funny. This guy, I want to see the movie from this guy's perspective. Just the day before, he's going out with some of his friends, he's getting drunk. Somebody challenges him to a thumb wrestling match, I guess, or did he? Who do you think was the thumb wrestling provocateur in this situation?
I mean, Stallone was drunk, but let's be as fair and balanced as possible and say that Jumbo Shrimp issued the challenge.
Yeah. So Jumbo Shrimp does some thumb wrestling, probably wins a couple before this, and then eventually the really drunk old man at the bar stumbles over. Oh, thank you. Also, I googled it. Sly Stallone is 5'10", so it may not be that far from Jumbo Shrimp, as you would expect. But yeah, beats this guy in a thing, gives him his ring, puts it on, and is thrilled about it. Like Jumbo Shrimp won. He probably like doesn't leave the bar because he's still there later. And
I think he works there.
Oh yeah, that's right. But he's like not. But he is like sitting at tables later on. That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
But yeah, and then the guy comes, asks for the ring back. You say no. He doesn't offer to buy it. He doesn't offer to thumb wrestle again or something. And then just beats all of your friends to death and kidnaps you. And you wake up in a crashing plane. Stallone is lucky Jumbo Shrimp didn't wake up like maybe 5 seconds earlier. And everybody watches the crash and like, oh man, Barney wet himself. He was crawling out of the seat as fast as he could. He's a real coward, actually. He took out his phone and started texting somebody. Oh, that's not his phone.
You could actually see the tear stains on his shriveled, burned face when he was crying and pissing himself.
I mean, yeah, he's like, and also like, I know planes crash like that, but like that one crashed. So he got the exact rate of crash. So he burned the guy's like face and stuff off, but he didn't completely, disintegrate. But like, what happens if there is any recognizable bit of flesh on that man? He doesn't look anything like Sylvester Stallone.
I mean, heck, you can identify people off dental records
Yeah.
if need be.
I guess the Expendables just don't bother. I mean, they take his arm back. Like, they have part of him.
Yeah, that's literally insane. They have to throw that out after, right? They're like, oh, we are not keeping this in here.
Well, apparently they don't, DJ, because it's there at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. Barney should be like, guys, can we get rid of Jumbo Shrimp's arm, please?
That's actually pretty serious evidence of the murder I did. So
yeah.
Can we get rid of that? Oh God, what was I going to say? There's something else about this too. Yeah, no, he just murders this man for no reason, really. And then they laugh about it, and that's the end of the movie.
Well, there is a good reason, Diggins. It's to unseal the fucking
now I remember what I was gonna ask. Who knew about him faking his death? And if it was nobody, how did he do fucking anything?
It was, I mean, it has to have been nobody, because it wasn't like at the end he's working with, Schwarzenegger or something, and it's just him. So, yeah, I think
where did he get a helicopter? How did he get back to America?
I think he just walked away. Walked from Libya to the middle of the,
He walked across the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah, got a helicopter.
Well, I guess he didn't have to go back to America. He could have walked from Libya to Thailand.
Exactly. It would make sense. Like, this wouldn't make any. It still wouldn't make sense, but it would be a little more sensible if like Tony Jaa was part of it.
Wait, hold on. Okay, wait.
Yeah.
Jason Statham goes to Thailand, meets Desha.
That's right.
Yeah.
By nightfall, they have caught up with this tanker that by morning is almost at Vladivostok. Do tankers go that fast?
Oh, dude,
I mean, this tanker can turn on a dime. Like, this is a very good tanker.
With the help of some powerful anchors, Nando. Do you know how powerful anchors are?
I didn't before, but I do now. I mean, maybe he's not in Thailand. I just assumed they were in Thailand because Tony Jaa is Thai, but maybe they are in like
there
Japan
is a
or something.
Thai flag, I think, at one point.
I think they are in Thailand. Yeah.
Yeah. So they get into the Sea of Japan. I don't know.
Yeah. So, but yeah, my thing with this, okay, so part of Sly's plan was he knew he had to fake his death to unseal the dossier.
That's right.
Yes.
Because so he had to know the plane was going to get shot down because he had Jumbo Shrimp ready, but like not so shot down that he would have died. I don't know. It's just like very weird that's how the fake death went on.
It's extra weird that Jason Statham saves him, but then he doesn't. Like in a movie like this where Jason Statham lets him die, but that was Barney's plan all along. I'm like, okay, well, that makes a little more sense why you did that. But in this moment, it's so weird.
Yeah, it's super fucking weird.
Diggins, I hope you did some math for us.
I did do some math for you. Okay, so assuming I did the distance from Bangkok to Vladivostok. I didn't do like the ship distance. I did straight point-to-point distance, so it would be longer than this in reality. And I did, assuming that the ship is going at the top speed for a tanker the entire time, which is about 18 miles an hour, it would take roughly 6 days for this tanker to get from Bangkok to Vladivostok. Now, you could say he's not in Bangkok, he's further south in Thailand, and like, sure. You could say they don't meet up with the tanker in Thailand, they go and catch it and then follow it, sure. I don't think that shaves off 5 days and 12 hours.
Yeah, you kind of figured these characters to be like good friends, like by the time Jason Statham and Tony Jaa actually get to the boat, they'd be like, wow, that was a cool week of stories we each told each other. That was incredible.
Yep.
Yeah, it's weird. It's very weird. Oh, man. We had a question, an important question, you guys.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Is this movie woke?
Oh, God, no. The same answer for Expendables 3.
I don't know. It has woke. 2 women this time.
There are 2 women, but one of them barely talks. So does she even count?
I mean,
one of them barely talks, and we end on the implication that she's attracted to Randy Couture, which is just the wildest male power fantasy I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, Megan Fox, like Jason Statham goes down on Megan Fox. There is not a more woke version of this movie. I mean, there is a more woke version of this movie. Probably.
Expendables, the movie they were going to make.
Yeah, but I mean, man, I feel like because Jason Statham does it, it's actually not woke, but it could be. Something like that could break the woke barrier.
But he does it because she's cool and tough like him. It's not like he's sensually treating his lady. It's like she's earned the right through Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Does that mean if any of us could beat up Jason Statham? Well, no. I guess we'd have to be in a relationship, or at least we'd have to have dated him recently.
Yeah, come on now.
Yeah, no. I mean, there'd have to be some sort of rapport there pre-existing. I don't think Jason Statham goes down on anyone who beats him in a fight.
I mean, that'd be kind of cool if he did, though. I'd be like, wow, that guy really must either win a lot of fights or,
really loves it.
Yeah, maybe he just likes getting down there on both sexes too,
Maybe every time he loses a fight and the other person's like, get down there, in his head he's like, hey, they don't realize I'm just a freak.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Is it because of the golden shower bit?
But we're supposed to think that it's weird sexual deviancy, not a cool and good thing that he's doing.
How about war with Russia is bad? Is that woke?
Ooh, that is kind of woke now. Well, wait, hold on. The villain wants there to be a war with Russia.
That's right.
The bad guys want there to not be a war with Russia. Otherwise, views on Russia pretty agnostic in the film.
That's fair. Yeah. How about respecting women, social media influencer? That's kind of woke, actually. That's.
But I feel like that's a kind of like. There's a way to do that that's not woke, that's like old-fashioned values. Like, back in my day, we respected our women because of how they were submissive and did everything we told them to do.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, I get
and that's what I think respect means. We didn't say nasty things about them, except for all the nasty things we said about them and about how they were dumb and couldn't do anything. But we didn't talk about how we were going to have sex with them, except all the times we talked about how we were going to have sex with them. But we didn't do it on a live stream because those didn't exist yet.
Yeah. I don't know if this movie can be not woke.
Reference to Gaddafi, so...
Yeah.
Libyans are good guys. Woke.
Yeah, shooting the hostages is a bad thing. Woke.
It's shown that a man from a Middle East, well, Libya's not really Middle East, it's Northern African, but from a country that your average American will look at and be like, that's the Middle East, right?
Well, also
shows that a man from one of those countries cares about his family. Woke.
I don't remember if the guy specifically actually was from Libya or they just were in Libya because they had stolen nukes in Libya.
They were wearing Libyan military uniforms.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, they killed a child, not woke. Killing children is not woke.
Motorcycles, not woke because they're like bikes.
That's true.
Even though these have guns though, so they're actually pretty woke or not woke.
CIA good, not woke.
Although CIA guy villain woke,
right? And deep state woke, right? Like
I don't think deep state is woke. I think deep state is anti-woke these days.
I can't keep track.
Oh, for sure. I mean, your RFKs and those guys, and I don't know. I guess Alex Jones can't be woke, right? So,
right.
I think there's on that side of the spectrum, it is not woke to believe in the deep state.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the best I can do is Jason Statham, munching some coochie. And I think it was kind of woke. I almost for a second was like, this is progress. Good. But it's also the only sex I think anybody in these movies has ever had, which is really funny.
Yeah, not in the movie, to be clear. The rest of these guys are virgins.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, Gallon had to explain all sex to them. This is mission 5, but he started with all right, penis, vagina, how are we on these words? I have some pamphlets that I'm going to pass out so we can get to my fun stories. But first, I really need to build a baseline of understanding. It's not good. Do you think, will they make a 5th one? TJ, you seem to be hinting that they might.
So Stallone said that this is the first kickoff for a trilogy. Like, we're gonna have another trilogy.
When did he say that? Before or after the movie came out?
It was before. So
okay.
He also said he's done being in them.
I could think of a great way for him to guarantee that he's not in them anymore. Yeah, which is to die in them and have your arm part of the movie in the background. But they couldn't even do that.
I mean, I have my doubts because, okay, I already said earlier, this movie's budget was $100 million.
Yeah, which is insane.
Insane.
How much do you guys want to guess it has grossed so far?
Dear God, I'll say 60.
Do you have it international or just domestic?
I have both.
Okay, I'm gonna say 30 international, 10 domestic.
I'll go,
and I'm saying millions, not dollars. Although maybe.
I'll go. Yeah, no, I'll say 60 international, maybe 25 domestic.
Hold on, I'm getting conflicting numbers here.
Which one's closer to whatever I said? That one's probably the way to go.
I've got the Box Office Mojo number and I've got a Wikipedia number, and they're different.
God.
Sometimes Box Office Mojo is like to the day, and Wikipedia isn't. But if
Wikipedia one is higher,
yeah, I don't know.
Like by a lot.
Box Office Mojo sucks now, so
yeah, they're awful.
They might be
All
wrong,
right.
But also, where did the Wikipedia one get theirs? There's other box office websites. Let's see if I can find one. Yeah, like The Numbers usually has pretty good.
All right, hold on. What were your guys' guesses again?
Wow,
I did 25-60.
I was 30 international, 10 domestic. I feel pretty good about that. Looking at the Numbers box office on the online.
Yeah.
Having trouble finding the domestic though for this one. I guess I have to add all these numbers together. Let's work.
How dare they?
I'm gonna guess domestic is like okay. I have domestic too now.
Okay, yeah, I've got it here.
Okay,
so the domestic box office was $9,800,000.
Yep, exactly.
The
where it
worldwide box office, so including the domestic, was $32,700,000.
God
yep.
Damn, that's
it has not even reached half of its budget. And considering all of us saw this in either a near empty or completely empty theater, I don't think that number is climbing much higher.
Well, to be fair, the budget is inflated for fraud. Just kidding, maybe. But I mean, I could be convinced. If you told me this movie cost like $100 million, remember last week? What did we do last week?
The Pope's Exorcist, baby.
Which did great, did amazing.
Yeah, that I guessed had a $90 million budget. And we found out it was like 15 or something crazy low, right? Like, and this, it's like, this is what $100 million movie looks like. I just can't. Did they buy the tanker? Just a real tanker?
I would go so far as to say that the effects in Pope's Exorcist, which were bad, looked better than these.
I'd buy that.
Oh, for sure.
I'd fucking buy that.
Between the green screens, which were really, really bad, and like, I mean, there's only so much you could do with some green screens, but like some of the photography, it's a problem with like, if you have people on a real set and then green screen in the same location, it looks different. If it was always green screen, it's not great, but like your brain can't see the difference. But when you see a shot like after the bar fight, still in the bar, it's like, oh my God, what happened? And you're like, oh, this is a green screen. But the plane, do you guys remember the shot of the plane from below the plane?
Oh my God.
It's got like soft focus, looks like tilt shifted. Like it's really bad. And yeah, that cost $100 million. Must all been salaries, I assume, right?
I assume between Stallone and Statham, that's probably a big chunk of that budget.
Yeah, like I can't imagine Statham made less than 10 million for this. I don't know, maybe 8. And then I figure Stallone probably made like less, honestly, because he was lower billed than the last one of these, but also he probably has all kind of producer credits, so he made a bazillion dollars anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I mean, like, there's a lot of people in here, like Megan Fox, 50 Cent, who like you recognize, but are probably not getting paid that much because they don't act in movies that often. So that helps. But like, yeah, Tony Jaa, he's got to be expensive. He's a real movie star in other countries, but even like he's in one of the Fast and Furiouses. Like, I don't know. Yeah, it's bad. They didn't really talk about this. Isn't it weird that Jason Statham is in this movie with Megan Fox? And then
and that they're an item. It's like it doesn't make any sense.
Which movie do you think he had more chemistry with the Meg in? This movie or Meg 2? He loves his Megs, you
Meg
guys.
2.
Yeah, I mean, he was
definitely
easily.
Like it's hard watching these movies because it's like, no, he works. And even like now, Meg 2 is not a very good movie, but like you can utilize him well and have fun. And these movies just didn't do that correctly. Like it's crazy that Iko Uwais and Tony Jaa don't fight also. Like don't have the two awesome action stars. Have one of them fight some random guy and have one of them fight Jason Statham's body double or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. They'll probably make another one though. At this point, I'd say make the all-female one and just give it to a completely different team. But then they'd make a good one, and then they would embarrass all the rest of these. So they probably wouldn't let them release it.
Stallone's ego is so fragile at this point that he might die if that happens.
Maybe.
Literally.
Knock on wood, that he doesn't die between now and when I release this. In like a day.
That'd be pretty awkward.
Listen, you guys, let's get to our classic segment. Would you like to recommend some things to the fine people?
Yes, right. I would. DJ, I'm going first.
You're up first. Yeah, let's hear it. What do you got?
Okay, so this is, I guess, slightly blasphemous because it's already been wrecked by a certain person. But
when has that ever stopped you before?
Yeah, big facts. I watched a little movie called Elemental on Disney Plus, and it is fantastic.
I
know.
So Mr. Big Talk, I bring Elemental as a wreck, and he immediately goes off. There's no way it's good. It's impossible. That movie couldn't, in a million billion years, would never be good. Now he comes crawling back on his hands and knees, having finally watched the movie.
Yeah, crawling back through a big raining piss, like the pee is dripping onto him. Yeah, he loves it.
It's my pee. My pee is all over that bilge duct, and DJ's gotta crawl through 2.5 miles of shit.
And Lash is behind you, getting a big eyeful. She's like, hell yeah, that's Diggins' hog. Hell yeah. This is elemental somehow, she says. I don't know how this is related anymore. Are we watching it? Are we talking about it? I don't know. We all love it.
You guys done?
Yeah,
I'm done for now.
For now. No, look, it is a legitimately good, nice, romantic movie that I found very enjoyable. I think the characters are good. I think it's very cute. I don't know why it did like so poorly and why the narrative on it was just kind of like, oh, this isn't that good.
Well, DJ, it had a bad opening, but it actually had a very long tail, so it actually ended up doing pretty good.
Yeah,
that's true.
I do think the trailers were particularly bad at selling it as a movie people want to see.
I think if they leaned into the more like Zootopia-ish aspect of it, it would have like more of a draw. But there wasn't much there. I think in the marketing they kind of like botched it, but it's on Disney Plus. It's really good. Diggins was right. It's good. I'm sorry that I was wrong, and how dare I, and I'm the worst, and I'm awful. So anyway, that's one. Two, this is nothing new this week. Sorry, there's nothing new. And I'm not allowed to talk about a certain thing because I'm worried I'll jinx it, so I can't talk about it.
Oh,
it's a sports thing. I don't know what it is.
It is.
No. It's not a sports thing. Oh. It's not even adjacent to sports.
Because there is a sports thing that you could jinx very soon. Like the tides could turn.
I'm lying. It is a sports thing, but I'm really not trying to put those energies out into the universe. But I was really excited about the Dame Lillard trade to Milwaukee. Anyway, okay, so we talked about Baldur's Gate 3 100,000 times. A game that you're still definitely playing, and if you haven't already, you should. But there's been a couple developments that I wanted to share that I shared with my compatriots before we recorded, and one of them didn't know this, so I'm like, let me tell the masses, because I didn't know this before I was told, and maybe I'm doing a public service. So if you get Baldur's Gate 3 for the PlayStation, it has a couch co-op with a split screen down the middle where you each can control your characters. But if there's certain scenes on that one of you is doing, and if you know the listen feature in the co-op mode where you get to see what they're doing, it makes the scene full screen. So it's this like very embedded experience, and I think it kind of slaps. I really enjoyed the couch co-op experience of Baldur's Gate 3. So I bought the game a second time. I own it for Steam and I own it for PlayStation 5, so I could play with Michelle because she had wanted to play. And we learned about the couch co-op, and we're like, this is great, and it turns out it's great. So if you think that would be appealing to you, I would encourage you to give it a shot. And Baldur's Gate 3 is so great. I'm all
and TJ's doing that rec even after he got cucked by Astarion.
Oh, but you know, I mean, wouldn't you? So that's a rec. I might have. So by the next time we record, I will have watched more Love Is Blind season 5, which I'm not ready to rec yet. I'm a hold on Love Is Blind season 5, and more importantly, we'll have seen Golden Bachelor. I'm really curious to see how Golden Bachelor shakes out.
You got to tell us if Galan is on that.
He loves his Golden Bachelorettes and bachelors alike.
So I'm a hold on that right now. So apologies for nothing new this week. But like seriously, Elemental on Disney Plus. If you haven't seen it, I would highly encourage it, and watch it with your significant other. I mean, or watch it by yourself. But like, if you can
it's
go,
fine. If you watch it by yourself, alone, crying, that's also fine.
That is fine. I'm just saying, if you could goad your significant other into watching it with you, maybe you'll get some Jason Statham. Who knows?
Just don't watch it with your first generation immigrant parents. You'll set too high expectations for how much they're supposed to accept the choices you make. Find it unrealistic. I understand this world. Everything makes sense to me here, except for this part. She wants to take over the shop.
This movie in a long line, well, not long line, but at least this and Turning Red of essentially autobiographical movies.
Oh,
so,
is that what this one is?
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So, yeah, I feel like we're getting a lot of those, which is just, it's great. It's just like funny to see. It's like, so this movie is just your life. So yeah.
Does that explain? Does that mean Soul is coming from the perspective of the writer director who's friends with a little baby that's also a cat or something? It's been a while since I saw Soul.
And Zootopia was by the writer director who really was an anthropomorphic bunny who wanted to be a cop.
That's right.
But was also into some other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's it. That's all I got. Diggins, what do you have to rec for the fine people?
I think, I could be wrong, but I think DJ wrecked this many moons ago.
We shall see.
But I did something a little outside of my normal wheelhouse, and I read one of those mangas.
Oh.
It's a little one. It just finished recently, which is why I read it, because a lot of people I know said it was good and it was done. So I was like, well, I can just read it all then. A little thing called Delicious in Dungeon.
Oh, what is that?
I don't think I wrecked this.
Yeah, I haven't heard this one before.
Guess I'm just wrong. So Delicious in Dungeon, or Dungeon Meshi is like the Japanese name, is about like a normal, like a very standard fantasy kind of world. Elves, dwarves, halflings, etc. And a party like doing a dungeon crawl in that in like a dungeon that just exists. So it's all very kind of like D&D-ish, like fantasy, cast magic spells, people resurrect from the dead, etc., etc. But the conceit here is the party, the story opens with this party wiping, and the cleric dies, teleporting them all out of the dungeon. And they're like, we have to go back and save her because she got eaten by a dragon. And they're like, if she gets digested like fully before we can get there, then she'll be dead permanently. So we have to get down there. But they lost all their equipment and money when they got teleported out. So they're like, we gotta find a way to do this without having to like spend a lot of money. So what they land on is, instead of buying food and rations and everything, they are going to cook and eat the monsters they kill.
Oh.
So it's part like dungeon crawl, like high fantasy, and part like cooking travelogue, as there are lovingly rendered depictions of like how they prepare and cook and eat these monsters. and it's a very interesting combination.
That sounds interesting.
It starts off very goofy and funny in a way that I enjoyed. As it goes on, as these things tend to, it gets a little more of a serious plot to it, but I think that's also like pretty good. I did feel like reading it all at once, the cut between those two things was a little jarring. I've talked to other people about it, and they say when you read it serialized, it made more, it felt more gradual and earned. So this is probably just a problem of me having binged it. But yeah, no, I mean, I really enjoyed it. It's very charming. It's very funny. And I think the plot, like, even though I felt like the transition was a little jarring, I think where it goes when the plot really kicks into gear and it becomes a little more serious is actually really cool and like introduces a lot of concepts and ideas where I was like, oh, that's like a really cool thing for this fantasy world to have. And all the time, it actually does stick to the same general like themes. It never stops being about food. It just the ways in which it is about food changes. So yeah, I really like that. If you like manga, you can read it. If you don't like manga, I believe next year an anime adaptation is starting.
Nice.
So you could just wait for that. But yeah, that is my rec for this week. Delicious in Dungeon. What about you, Nando?
Oh, I have so many things. I watched a bunch of movies and a bunch of shows. First of all, I can't remember if we watched or wrecked this last week or just talked about it. But Hannah and I over the last week have watched 2 seasons, and seasons is like 5-6 episodes, but of Taskmaster, and I'm flying through it. I love it. It's best show ever. I cannot imagine how bad the American one must have been to not take off, because it is the most like engaging show and like effortless in terms of construction that it must just have been a chemistry thing. But yeah, I think
we're here in America, we love doing our own version of British things that are good and making them as bad as possible.
Well, yeah, and in America, like the taskmasteriness of it, like the idea of like do this task and hate it. Well, no, oh my god, this cast is great. Kind of. How did this fail? I don't know. This always happens in America. Like we just can't do it. But it was hosted by Reggie Watts, which is fine. Like I can see him being a good host. Actually, no, I don't think he would work for this because the host in the regular version is just really mean, but also like he just has a good energy. I don't know if Reggie Watts could quite do. But they had Freddie Highmore on from fucking Finding Neverland, Ron Funches, Kate Berland, who I love, very funny. Dylan Francis is a DJ. Yeah, no, this I can see exactly what happened with this. That's funny. But anyway, yeah, Taskmaster's on YouTube. All of it. I think the new season just started or something. So
it did.
Have you watched it? Are you? Because we're kind of saving it.
I watched the first episode.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm
They're
really getting my British TV fix. Yeah.
It's a great show. Like it's just Diggins. Have you ever seen it?
No, but I know of it, and I've heard many people speak highly of it.
It's like there's so many things that these people say. I'm sure like it's one of those shows where like they tape much more and they just really keep all the good stuff. But these people are so funny and so good at making fun of each other and catching each other in silly little lines. And also there's such a good like presentation where they'll start a task, say what the task is, and then they'll really, like the two hosts will get ready with the joke and say like, but obviously, no one would go try to pop all the balloons. No, that would be stupid. That would be, you'd have to come up with a plan and maybe strategic balloons. And then they just pause. There's a little bit of dead air and they go, all right, let's watch Jennifer. And then she just goes and tries to pop all the balloons. And the editing is perfect. God, I love this show. Anyway, everybody knows this. It's very popular. I watched a bunch of movies too. So I also watched Elemental, but I didn't like it as much as you guys do. Mostly because
you have no heart or soul.
I just didn't like the writing of Wade. I found him A, super unlikable, and B, not like unlikable, just kind of annoying. But B, every line was so on the nose. Everything was like, why don't you leave your dad and do the thing you want to do? And it's like, we could just think that. We don't have to say it. But I liked Ember. I liked the stuff she was doing. And I thought some of the other characters were kind of interesting. It was just something about the way that he was written in the rom-comminess of it that I didn't completely buy. it's a really good looking movie, but they all are. So it's like hard to, give it credit. But I would say like I think I enjoyed it more than Onward. And I think it's better.
I mean,
yeah, I
you
think
might
it's
be willing
better
to give it
than
more
a lot
credit
of
for
these.
looking good if you take a break to watch the Wish trailer that just dropped.
I didn't. Did you
Ugh.
watch it with all the weird fake
I-
rotoscoping or whatever they did?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet, but it has Chris Pine in it, so I'm probably gonna like it. He plays a bad guy too, which is awesome. I think he has a song. Anyway,
Does he get spit on?
maybe that would be really funny. I mean, one of the characters is like a goat, right? They do spitting sometimes. They should spit
I
on
think
him.
you're thinking of llamas.
Yeah, that's true. I guess. I mean, all my goats at home when I was growing up, my childhood goats would spit on everybody. But
Hashtag all my goats.
hashtag all my goats. So anyway, that movie Elemental, fine. I'd say it's worth a watch, and I think it's entertaining enough. It just doesn't
Right.
always work with me as well as with other people.
Because Nando isn't wholeheartedly recommending it, he's not going to get the whole treatment that DJ did.
Yeah, well, you want a thing that I'm not going to get the full treatment that DJ did. I also watched Bottoms this week, and I didn't love it either. Something about the
Wow.
comedy just didn't click with me.
Wow.
And I respect it.
see
I
how
think it is cool. I think it was, honestly, I'm not a big Daria person either. And you were talking about this kind of existing in the Daria verse, but I was kind of like expecting to love it. And I could tell kind of pretty quickly that I was like, I don't know if this is my jam. But yeah, I was like, not.
I got to admit, Nando, if I had been forced to predict beforehand between Theater Camp and Bottoms, which one you'd like more, I would not have predicted this world.
See, that's the thing. Like, Theater Camp is kind of feels honestly like the opposite of Bottoms, in that it is not like understated, but it is very like it's very wit and sarcasm based. A lot of the comedy is like somebody does a thing and somebody else looks at camera, like at The Office, but also it's just very like that conversation where he's yelling at her and he keeps jumping on her lines, and that's what she keeps trying to say. Like, I don't know, there was just something about the timing. Bottoms had that feeling, and again, I'm not saying it's a bad movie. People liked it a lot, and it's it's still pretty funny. But like it kind of felt like those like Seth Rogen comedies from the 2010s, where you can tell there's a lot of alternate takes of stuff, and they just kind of went with what they thought was the funniest. And I don't know, I've never been a humongous fan of those. There was a movie I watched this week that I liked, which is the Alien one. What's this called? And Nobody Will Get You or something like that. You know what I'm talking about? The one on Hulu?
I know what you're talking about.
What
I
is
don't
it
know
called?
the name.
I had my letterboxed up because I was wanting to reference this, but I realized I didn't letterbox it. Let's see. Nobody Will Save You. That movie's awesome. Like, very, very good. Do either of you know what it is? Maybe watched it or gotten close to watching it?
I think Nobody Saves You, if I'm not mistaken.
So it's No One Will Save You. I found the page for it. It stars Caitlin Dever from, speaking of, teen coming of age movies, a la Bottoms, from like Booksmart. And she plays, it's hard to explain. I don't want to get into it because there's a lot of stuff about your life that you find out as the movie goes on. But suffice it to say,
life?
maybe this will reveal some things to you, about yourself and how you view the world. And that would be great. I don't think a lot of this would apply to you, but it could. You never know. It's but it's a very atmospheric kind of horror movie. It's kind of seems like a home invasion movie. That's what the trailer sold it at. It was like 5 minutes in. Well, 5 minutes into the horror part, you're like, oh my God, it's a guy with a gun. But then immediately it's like, no, this is aliens. This is some sort of like alien abduction thing. But as the movie goes on, you get way more information about what's going on, about what the aliens are up to, about what they want, how they work, and how like that all factors into what happened to her. That explains her whole deal. And I thought it was great. I was very impressed by it. I think it's kind of scary. Like, I do think for the jump scares and stuff like that, it is not, our coward minds can barely handle it. And I watched it skipping forward with the sound off first a bunch so I could get the plot. And then I went back and watched it
Did you at any point jump into Hannah's arms, Scooby-Doo style?
I mean, obviously, I watched it alone, so I wouldn't look like a coward when I turned it off. But I would have probably at certain points because there's some good scares. But also, I don't know. I've read some interviews with the director who's kind of talking about the creature design and that element of it, and there's something about the kind of the way he describes it, and like, no, this is what we wanted to do. And I'm like, good for you. I'm glad somebody did. So I thought it was pretty cool. Besides that, I don't think there's anything else I've been watching or playing. Besides this, and I mean the Wish trailer, I'm sure. Also, the trailer for that Argyle movie with the cat hasn't come out yet. I'm like, I thought that was today. But maybe they're waiting. I don't know. Guys, what are we doing next week?
It's a great
question.
Right?
So I was thinking about this. I saw that the new Hunger Games is coming out in a couple months.
Oh.
And it's a franchise we've never done. That's only 4 movies, but we could do a Hunger Games lead up.
Actually,
we could do
now
that.
I think about it.
Well,
that Creator movie comes out this next week, right?
I was about to say that movie.
No, please,
that
no.
movie where what if robots was people?
Yeah,
it's probably so long.
I mean,
probably. I was going to say the reviews have actually been saying it's pretty good, which I'm still skeptical, but
I don't
really. Every review I've read has been like, it's beautiful, amazing, acting and story are fine, but the rest of it, oh my god, special effects, what a world building, and that's kind of what I got from the trailer.
Which wouldn't really do it for me that much.
Diggins, how do you feel about Vietnam? That's going to make a lot of your make or break a lot of your opinion on this movie. It seems like.
Well, I don't.
You're pro?
I wasn't a fan. Well, the country or the war?
Both, I guess.
I'm pro the country, anti the war.
Oh, okay. Well, this movie has some things to say about that. So
here's what I don't like. The creator director reveals insane runtime of first cut of John David Washington led film was 5 hours long.
All first cuts of movies are that long. That's how making movies works.
How long's the second cut? Like the one we ended up with. Let's see. The creator runtime 2 hours 15. That's on the longer side. I mean, I do think it will be the movie of this week, so it feels like we should probably watch it. But also we could skip it. I don't know. People are very excited about it, even though I don't know.
If people are excited, it's the movie. I'm for it.
It seems like it is. I'm not sure how much of that is not like AstroTurf, but how much of that is like my circle kind of people that I know who are like into sci-fi movies and stuff. But I think it's kind of got some steam.
What about My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3?
All of Gareth Edwards' friends stormed Nando's apartment and was like, "Hey, this is the creator movie. There's nothing like it. You gotta see it."
Well, it's another one of those movies where they didn't do reviews, but they did a lot of preview screenings and everybody said they liked it. And then everybody went, but what does the New York Times think? And they were like, we can't tell you yet. And it's like, oh, okay. But yeah, I mean,
they did. It is by the director of Rogue One. And you
Gareth
might
Edwards.
And you might look at that and be like, Tony Gilroy, the Andor guy? I mean, no, not him. But you'll think it. For a minute,
yeah,
you will think that, So reality comes crashing down.
And like I don't know, his Godzilla is fine. Listen, I mean, we probably should do it. Honestly, we have so many opinions that I think it'll be interesting. But the other movies that come out this week are Saw X, which I probably won't watch, and Paw Patrol, the Mighty movie, which I think would probably be pretty weird of an episode, but I don't think it would be as fun as it seems like it should be.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably just like a kid's movie where it's like, yeah, I mean, I guess a kid would like this.
We could also do the Taylor Swift, the Eras Tour movie.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Or we could do the GameStop stock movie, Dumb Money.
Oh, yeah.
I promise if we did the Taylor Swift movie, it would be our most listened to podcast by like a factor of 1,000.
Unless we said mean things.
So
well, either way, it'll be our most listened to podcast.
That's fair.
It's just a difference between whether we get praised or murdered.
Yeah. The other things we could do, now that I'm thinking about it, that new Boys show comes out this week, Gen V. First 3 episodes are getting released. That's kind of a movie. Speaking of first 3 episodes, The Continental, apparently not very good, came out last week. There's that.
We already fulfilled our Mel Gibson quota for this year.
Actually, it resets in October. I don't know if you know. It's based on a different calendar than the regular. It's like a fiscal calendar or something. So,
damn it.
I think
I'm worried about that one. I was worried about it when my dad was like, "Oh, D, you gotta watch it. It's amazing." I'm like, "Oh no, oh no."
Yeah, I mean,
so
I haven't heard anything super positive about it. Besides, I don't know. It's kind of like if you really like those, you'll like it. But yeah, I mean, we're coming into October. Let's look October 2023 movies.
I do think we should do the Hunger Games lead up. I think that would be a good lead up. Also, I've never seen any of the Hunger Games movies.
Oh, really?
So it would be good for me. Yeah.
I think I've seen the first 2, but not the last 2. So yeah.
I've read every Hunger Games book, but I did it 10 years ago. And fuck if I remember any of them.
Yeah.
So you can be our expert, but
honestly, I'm looking at movies coming out besides that Hunger Games one. There's that Exorcist one that's coming out, which I will not watch.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
That we'll have to do.
Yeah,
Killers of the Flower Moon. We'll have to do that.
Craven.
Will we?
No, we won't. But we could. I mean, we could do one.
DJ would die in the theater.
Wait, for which one?
For Killers of the Flower Moon.
Because it's so old. Yeah, or long. So would I.
Because it's like 4 hours long. Yeah, you guys would die.
I would fucking die.
Yeah, I guess.
How do I not look at my phone that long?
Five Nights at Freddy's does feel like the only essential movie of October for us. So we've got some space because they moved Craven.
Because they are themselves.
They are
Craven.
They are
3 hours and 26 minutes.
Yeah.
How dare he? How dare he with his bad opinions about movies?
Exactly.
Whoa. Did you read the profile? It's actually a bunch of like...
It's incredibly depressing.
It's very depressing, first of all. Secondly, the whole like framing of like the thing is basically people on the internet and not him.
Well, it's some people on the internet. It's the guy that writes the article at one point. It's like, I'm the one who said to talk about Marvel movies, so you can blame me for it. I'm sorry. And it's like, all right, guy, that doesn't get you off the hook.
I don't care about that.
I'm glad you're admitting that, but why did you just simply not do it?
Exactly.
I don't care about that. I care about this goddamn runtime.
It is a long movie.
Unconscionable.
Well, the thing about that article that kills me, and I did tweet about this, is like right before he talks about Marvel movies or like comic books or whatever, he says like, but like we got to save the theater experience, and part of that is the theaters have to make the theaters themselves a better place to watch movies. And then the guy doing the article interview goes like, yeah, and they should put movies in people like and not all these comic book movies. And I'm like, no, I want Martin Scorsese to say every movie theater needs a bouncer or something. Like that's what it seemed like he wanted to say. And I want people on my side with this bouncer thing. We need
every movie theater needs a Jason Statham ready to punch any influencer who pulls out their phone.
Exactly.
Or employee or person they're supposed to be guarding, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Punch anyone.
It counts for everybody, you know? Otherwise, we won't respect the policy unless Jason Statham will punch the owner of the movie theater. He'll punch Martin Scorsese. Martin Scorsese takes a phone during the movie. He's not going to do that because he's not a monster. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm not against Hunger Games, so it may be creator. We'll see what people say on the Discord and stuff. I bet
Hunger Games could be during the month of October. It could be Hunger Games lead up because I think mid-November is the new one. So, but I think a lead up would be good. I think people like our lead ups, and when we do franchises, we get in the mindset.
Yeah, and there's not a ton of November movies either. Like there's the Marvels, but like we've already done Captain Marvel, and honestly, that's kind of it. In the Hunger Games one, I'm really struck to think of a different, and Wish. I guess we'll have to do that. Mm-hmm. Do you guys have anything to plug, DJ?
Roses and Rejections, where we did a Love Is Blind episode that dropped yesterday, or whatever you're listening to this, and we got a lot of the Bachelor stuff coming up. We got Golden Bachelor, Bachelor in Paradise, and the rest of Love Is Blind, and we got a lot of other stuff going on. So check that out on the Pop Break TV feed. Diggins.
Nope. Nando.
Videos, but ones that will be out after this comes out. So, not the ones that are not out yet. So if you're listening to this day's release, probably not. But then in the next couple days, just watch the Nando View Movies channel and our Nebula like the Nebula channel for Nando View Movies, and you'll see what the videos are. But I don't want to spoil it. Until next week, you guys, for maybe the creator, maybe Hunger Games, who knows? I've been at Nando View Movies on Twitter.
And this is at
damn it. I muted my mic to cough and didn't unmute.
Likely story. All right, well, we're leaving it in. I've been at Nando View Movies on Twitter.
I'm at Zippy by Day.
And I'm at This Is an Odd Name.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Woo!